If you like this podcast or the previous ones, please consider buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Frankie'sPod. It just goes to help fund the software and the hosting. Hi, welcome back to the podcast. Tonight I've got the great honour, and I don't care anyone else who thinks maybe it's not an honour. I do. I think it's an honour. I've been trying to get this guy on here for ages, and he's graciously agreed to do it. It's the one and only Trevor Couldt MC. Trevor joined the Royal Irish Regiment in 1994. I looked at my notes then because I'm sure I'm getting dementia coming on. I only just wrote that down. I forgot it. He's also an author. One of his many books is First into Sangin, which I will be putting in the show notes, the link for that on Amazon. And I advise anyone who's interested in stuff like this to buy it. It's a fantastic book, and it's normally at the top of the Amazon list as well. So it must be good. People are buying it. Hiya, Trevor. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me on, buddy. Appreciate it.
No. Like I said, everyone, it's if it wasn't for people like yourself, I couldn't do this. I do this podcast quite laid back. It's just like a chat between us, but it's basically 5 questions. So it's where did you grow up? Why did you join the military? What did you do? What was what it was like in that? And why did you leave? And what have you done since? So if you just want to start off, just give us a background of where you grew up and what made you join the military.
Well, I grew up in a housing estate called Ballybean Estate, which is in Dundonald, just outside East Belfast. It was a place where, when I was a young lad, there was a lot of different terrorist organisation groups there, whether it was the UDA, the UFF, the UVF, Red Hand Commandos, Young Citizen Volunteers, and a lot of people my age were getting involved in that, and that resulted in many people going to jail. There was robberies, racketeering, and my mother and father were ex-military, and I didn't want to join those. If I hadn't have joined the military to go abroad and do things, I would have probably ended up joining one of those organisations in it and probably ended up in prison. So that's why I joined up.
I mean, there's a lot of peer pressure from people around you in places like that to be part of the gang. Because in the end, I mean, I didn't grow up in Northern Ireland. I've been there a couple of times on tour. But I have one of the guys who I wouldn't say I would say that. He was one of my mentors when I joined the army and got to the gun battery. And he grew up on the Shankill. And so you can imagine how staunch he was.
Yeah.
And then on our first my first island tour was the Maze. So it was pretty laid back. It was just fucking tower after tower after tower. And then going up to Crumlin Road and doing a couple of weeks stint there in the towers, fucking hearing pings on the back of the tower and thinking, fuck's that? Don't open that fucking shutter because you'll fucking get shot. So they used to use it as 0 on, with the flats out the back. And you just hear him ping, ping. Fucking hell. And you're up there for 9 hours just wanting to shit. That's, it's fucking boring. But he opened my eyes to a few things because I know you shouldn't take sides in the military. You do, and as much as you don't think that, the loyalist side is on our side, you felt as though you were going to get treated better by them than you were the Republican side, and I think that was true. But he opened my eyes to it's not about Free Ireland, or a single state. It's about power, and it's about drugs, and it's about territory, and it's just criminal enterprises. Most of it's got bog all to do with anything political. I mean, I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but that's the way he opened my eyes to it, and I do know that's how I understand it nowadays. And remnants of it that are still there as well.
Well, originally, I mean, if we go back, your friend's got a point, but the old and bold members of the IRA, the real IRA, I don't know, there's too many, but the original IRA, is it the original IRA? I can't remember, but there is, I don't even know if it's continuity IRA. There's one of the IRAs which started it off, and the old and bold, for them, it was about an All Ireland. So they I think they all became QMs of weapon dumps and all that stuff. But as it progressed throughout, say, the late 90s and the early noughties and all that stuff, as it moved forward, the younger generation in all those organisations, it was about racketeering, it was about drugs and territory. So even though the old and bold wanted the political side to be coming on Ireland, the younger generation did turn it. They turned it into drugs and racketeering and things like that, and kneecappings and stuff like that. And it lost its way in the end, I think.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. You know, the whole peace process and stuff. I know we're fucking deviating completely here.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm conflicted about the peace process, and I know that sounds a bit weird. Whereas I feel as though, on one hand, we were let down, and a lot of people were let down. Not just like, you know, veterans, soldiers, or whatever. You know, a lot of the population of Northern Ireland were let down as well. There was too much given away.
Yeah.
You know, for the Good Friday Agreement, you know, the last soldier killed in Ireland was, you know, Stevie Restrick in Besbrook on our tour. You know, fucking good mate of mine. You know, he's a good mate. You know, he was a good mate. I won't go any further than that, really. But you know, his murderer was released within 18 months after giving like fucking 10 life sentences and all that.
Now, Steve was the last soldier killed before the Good Friday Agreement.
Yeah,
but after
there was
the
a
Good
couple of
Friday
engineers.
Agreement, there's been quite. I mean, what's happened is nothing's really changed in Northern Ireland to a certain degree. The only difference is that you don't hear about it in England. You don't hear about it in the mainland. There's what I would call there's a denotice on Northern Ireland, and you will never find out now. I mean, my parents live in Belfast, and there's still police officers being shot. There's still under vehicle booby traps going off. There's still camps being attacked, military camps. There is still a few military camps there, but the Palace Barracks and ones in Lisburn, they're still there. But there is still tit for tat terrorist activities taking place. It's just not in the media, and we did give far too much away. Far too much away. We'll not go into it because we'll go off on a tangent here.
It's a 6-hour podcast, and then we'll go. So, what was basic training like? No, I agree. I think we'll stop that bit there. Yeah, but Good Friday Agreement.
Yeah.
You know, but on the other, like, all right, then on the other hand, to give it some balance, you know, something the Daily Mail doesn't really do. Look at it now. You know, I would almost feel comfortable coming over for a visit. You know, I'd quite happily walk around Belfast. I want to go back down to South Armagh. I don't think I'd feel that comfortable down there.
Do you know what? I think you'd be safe. I mean, there's parts of Belfast that I would never venture into when I was a serving soldier. I would stay out of certain areas. But I went back in last April for my birthday, spent some time with my parents and things. I actually booked a little apartment, which was facing David and Glath, the Harlan Wolf Towers, the Yellow Towers.
Yeah.
So, and I went for a walk. I went to the begins with M. Can't remember the name of the hotel now. Doesn't matter. I went out of there and I walked down a part of Belfast which I used to be fearful of going in. Thought that was fantastic. I mean, the whole town's changed. It's actually stunning. And I was like, I was a little bit taken back by it. I was like, I would never come here years ago, but now it looked really good. Those outside people, live music all the way along. It was just fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
No, I listened to a podcast by a couple of guys who were talking about earlier, doing conventional soldiers. And what they did before Christmas is they went back for a visit and did like recordings while they were walking around. And they went to Belfast and they went to Londonderry, or Derry, whatever you want to call it, Londonderry. And then went down south to, you know, and to Newry and places like that. And, you know, they just didn't recognise the place, especially Londonderry. They just didn't recognise it compared to when they were there last, you know, on a tour. And they said, like, you know, they said something on that I agree with, and I hope it's true. And that was that you can see the people have changed, and they will never want to go back to how it was. So they won't allow it to. You know, they won't allow that the fucking idiots to take over again. more or less, and the political process, and that fucking hell. I'm still digressing even before when we said we wouldn't. The other thing I was conflicted about was, and this is mad, it's Mark McGuinness. I staunchly hated that bloke. Just because of the way he was portrayed to us, and because all right, it's history and stuff like that. But then you find out that he was so deeply involved in the peace process, and you just think, really, that didn't sound like the person I knew it was, and all the secret meetings between the agencies and him that nobody else knew about and stuff like that. It kind of blew my mind out. It made me think. It made me think about him in a different way. Still don't like, still don't like the idea of the guy, but it does make you think that it's not all one-sided, or it's not black and white. It was very not black and white.
Well, yeah, I've had long conversations with ex-Special Forces guys that worked in Northern Ireland then, and who were handlers to high-ranking terrorists, and they're never allowed to discuss who they were high-ranking guys were, because it would ruin people today if it got out. So, and people bite their lip. Whenever the other week, maybe 2 weeks ago, whenever the four Special Forces guys were found guilty of unlawfully killing IRA members after a machine gun attack on a part-time police station. And I was on the phone to a guy who was fuming about it and says, I just wish I could fucking say, I wish I could just nail these fuckers and say, no. I used to look after you and just, but it would cost too much shit. So it's not worth it. But there is a lot of guys bite their lip every day. And I do not know how they hold their tongue. I don't know how they do it. I mean, it's a shame.
Right. Anyway, I think we've exhausted that side. We probably haven't. I think we should. So, what was it like actually turning up for training then?
Well, I did my first phase training here in a place called Ballymena, hey, and it wasn't too bad. I turned up for training already fit. I was fit. I'd already represented Northern Ireland in cross country and road running, and I was an All Ireland fell running champion, Northern Ireland fell running up and down mountains. I had become Northern Ireland judo champion twice, so I was super fit when I went to training, and I didn't find it difficult. I didn't. The one thing that I did find a little bit, I suppose, which was difficult, was the old fitness test, which wasn't just so you did a mile and a half squat and mile and a half run, but you had to do press ups in 2 minutes, sit ups in 2 minutes. There was dips. Remember the dips?
Yeah.
Dips, and then after you did the dips, your arms were jelly, and then you had to do the pull-ups, and you had to do all those 4. And so I think I started off the pull-ups. The sit-ups I smashed. I think I did, what did I do in the sit-ups? 2 minutes, round about 100, which for a young 18-year-old, whenever you haven't done it, is good. And I thought it was good. Sit-ups weren't too bad. I did round about the same. When it came to the dip, when it came to the things, I think I did about 7. I was just completely wrecked. 7. And there was guys doing about 22, 23, but they were older, more muscly.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. The thing is, you got to bear in mind, when I grew up, my dad was ex-military. So from a very young age, I was used to standing by my bed for a room inspection. I needed to earn my pocket money. My dad checked my room for dust and cleanliness. So I had that military mentality. So I found training easy.
Could you imagine doing that to kids nowadays?
Oh, it's child abuse. I mean, it is.
Fucking hell, we had years ago when I was at Thorney Island, we had a staff sergeant who used to do that to his kids. And we all thought he was fucking mental. What are you doing that to your kids for?
It's ingrained.
I mean, he grew up in the military as well, I believe. Yeah. So it was like second nature, right? Kids, and it was like, you can't do that to your kids, for fuck's sake.
You want pocket money, son? Yep. Yeah. Every Sunday, me and my brother, would have our bikes in the back garden, upside down, and we would be cleaning the wheels, the spokes. Our bikes were spotless. Our bikes were spotless.
Fuck yeah.
Honestly. Listen, if you want to, see as a young lad growing up, when your dad's military and your mum's military, they're both ex-military, and you want something, you've got to earn it. Clean the car, polish your bike, get your bike done, get your room done, stand beside this, get that done, everything.
Fuck yeah. So I'd say you didn't suffer from the discipline side of it when you first joined up then.
No, to me it was just routine.
So fucking hell, what's happening, like? Yeah.
Do you know what? See, my son goes to school, right? He's immaculate. See, when he comes home, he takes his shoes off at the door, right? This is what he does. He takes his shoes at the door. I lift his shoes. I go towards the sink. I turn it upside down. I have a scrub brush. I scrub the soles. I fucking bull his shoes every single day, and I set them back out for him. And you know what? Some people, I've mentioned this on my podcast a few times, and people say, "Oh, let him do it," and I'm like, "No. I need to do this. It's in my. Yeah. I need to achieve this every day. It's my routine. So I do that. I do it every day."
I'll send mine over to you.
I can't get rid of it. It's just something. I mean,
it's your routine, and it's If that keeps you going. I mean, you know, I won't say what keeps me going. It's a family podcast. But it's not.
Even his friends, when his friends pop over, fucking his friends' shoes, fucking state of them, and I'm cleaning them and putting them down. His friends think Sebastian's dad's a bit nuts. I have to have these things in place.
No, that's cool. You've got that. You've got that. I wouldn't say ingrained in your brain, but you've got that routine that's keeping things normal for you.
Yeah,
and that's the way you deal with life, which is absolutely fine. Everyone's got different ways, of accepting. I wouldn't say responsibility for their own life, but dealing with it. They have to achieve something, and if you're doing that, like the old thing, when you get up in the morning, make your bed, then you've achieved something.
Yeah.
If you're doing things like that throughout the day, you're achieving things. That's great.
Well, my bed's made, and I mean when I've got shared custody of our Sebastian, so which is good. His mum was across the road, but when he's here, I'm lying in bed. I'm awake. I'm awake from about 6:30 every morning. I'm waiting for 7 o'clock to happen. 7 o'clock happens, up. I then fix the pillows, fix the bed, make it neat. The bed's fixed. That's the first thing I do. In the kitchen, put the kettle on, get the oven on, prepare to make pancakes, get it all sorted, check his shoes, even though I've done it the night before. School uniform done. I have everything lined up. I have my whole routine. And then I sit down and do my media bit.
We'll get onto that later. So, basic training in Ballymena, then going over to where? Was this the first time you'd left Northern Ireland, or had you been to the mainland?
Oh, I've been before. I mean, my dad's from Hull, North Yorkshire, Orchard Park. So I'd been to Hull for little holidays with his parents, his family. I'd been to Blackpool and all that. I'd done. I mean, as a young lad, I never went abroad on holidays. We didn't do it. We just for me, holiday was going to London to look at the. Yeah. I remember going the war museums and Churchill's thing and cabinet stuff and going around London and Blackpool and Hull. So I'd been there. So for me, second phase training was, I think it was before Cavalry opened up. It was Strensall in North Yorkshire. So I thoroughly enjoyed Queen Elizabeth Barracks. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The Mississippi mud run around there. It was tough going. It was, but I loved it. I was meeting other units and getting to see, and I was already I already had the military mindset from a young lad, but I enjoyed it. I wanted to win. I mean, my BFT time, I think my fastest BFT was 6 minutes 48. I smashed it. I was one of the quickest in the camp. There was a Corporal Glendinning from the Green Howards who tried to challenge me, and there was a Corporal Capel from the Prince Wales Own Regiment of Yorkshire, and they were fit, but they couldn't catch me. I mean, I was smashing that out. But I wasn't as upper body strong compared to the other guys, but I was like a fucking whip it, and I loved it. And I used to get the old thing, but I bet you can't do it with weight in your back. Well, if I actually can. I mean, I could run with weight in my back as well. So I enjoyed that, and enjoyed the competition against the other units. Very competitive, very tribal, because when I went across to Strensel, there was 6 of us, 6 Royal Irish that went in the same, and we were all in the one section. So it was our section against. We had the Prince of Wales Own, we had the Green Howards there, we had the Staffordshires. You know what I mean? So we had the Worcesters and we had the Foresters. There was so many cap badges that, and there wasn't any dicks. You know, you get like a dick today, like, oh, he's from that unit, he's not unit. You know, no, these were all decent. I mean, they were all decent guys, all very competitive, but there was no arseholes in our platoon. It was a decent platoon, and everyone watched each other's back. It was quite nice. I thought, this is my first thing of being amongst people that this is teamwork. Know what I mean? Actually, I really, really enjoyed it.
What was the DS like with you? Because I hear, I've heard loads of stories on the podcast. Some of them really fucking bad. Bullying, and we'd call it character building.
Yeah.
But when you look back, it's not.
There was a corporal there called Corporal Tommy Rutherford, who was ex-Royal Irish Rangers, and who'd left the Royal Irish Rangers and joined the Green Howards. And he didn't like the fact that we were all fat, 6 of us Royal Irish. So he was like, so he knew a lot of stories about the Royal Irish because that was his unit. He transferred, and he taught us character building. I mean, I look back at him now and I think, you know what, he was certainly professional. He was a good guy. But a grown man again, he used to punch the fuck out of us, and it wasn't nice.
No.
I mean, it wasn't nice, his behaviour. But I suppose it helps you grow, doesn't, as they say, you know. But,
I think it's just, it's ingrained. Like you said, it happened to him. He perpetuated onto the next person. The person who did it to him had it happen to him. The person who did it to him had it, it goes back infinity. All the way back to Waterloo, wherever.
I don't regret any of it. I mean, at the end of the day, he turned me from a weak individual into a strong individual. I mean, that's what happened, and I thank him for it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was those days where, if you know what, see this here, I'm gonna charge you. If that doesn't work, and I'm going to be honest with you, I learned a lot from him. One punch solves everything, and you don't make the same mistake again. But you know what? It's not a punch in the face. It's usually a punch in the chest, because that's what they did. They didn't beat you up. They hit you a slap, and you learned from it. And as far as I'm concerned, it made you better. It did, because you never made that.
I think the real slaps and fucking batterings come later on when you get to your regiment or your battalion. When you really find it and grow.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't experience any of that when I got to my first unit. But I've spoken to lots of people who did, especially some of the older guys who were paras. When I spoke to one guy, and it was when the paras had the airborne took off them and they were sent to Germany. I mean, I can't even imagine that. It was before I joined. And I just can't imagine paras not being airborne. They were in Osnabrück. Fuck, what? And he rocked up there and he just said, like, all you had was a lot of men who were angry that they weren't paras anymore, or they weren't airborne anymore. Sorry, and they took it out on the fucking young guys. He told me a few horror stories about what happened to him. I mean, fucking bad. And I think I would like to say nowadays shit like that doesn't happen anymore. And then you've just had the thing about the young girl from the artillery who, the coroner's report coming and stuff like that last week. And it, I mean, that's an all different kettle of fish, really. I don't think that's to do with getting to a unit and getting bullied and all that. That's about sexual harassment. And as much as that, I'd like to think that never, it doesn't go on. It very much does. And the army's got to change about that. But again, we're digressing away. But we'll keep with your story. So, what was it like? You've been through phase 2, and you're now a soldier. You're going off to your battalion. I understand they were in Cyprus to start with, was it?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Cyprus. It was I'd never been before. It was my first really abroad place, and I thought it was amazing. Based in Episcopal Garrison in Limassol, and I loved it. I loved the exercises. I loved getting into the desert combats, and I thought it was great. My desert boots, desert combats with the shamrock sewn on. We didn't have a DZ flash then, but it was a shamrock on the arm. And I went and took the piss. There was a guy called Alfie. He was I'm allowed to say spick. He was a Cypriot. Doesn't matter, but that's what he was back. And I would leave my stuff and it'd be tailored. It would come back with sewn in creases. I mean, the sleeves cut off perfectly, 4 fingers, and the beautiful, lovely sewn in crease. It was fantastic, and I thought this is great. I never have to iron again. What do you do? And I loved it because you started work at about 6 in the morning and you finish at 12 because it got too hot. I thought this is amazing. Can't believe it. What a life. By 1 o'clock, I'm pissed in Stevie's Locust Milk Bar, just sitting there making cocktails. I actually thought it was an amazing posting. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Only spent a few months there, though, and then came back to then got sent to Catterick for 5 years. But I enjoyed it. I did the Cypress Hill run, the Happy Valley Hill climb. I won that, and then I did the Cypress, but there was some hill climb. I came second in that. Got beat by Derek McGurl. I did the Limassol 10K. I think I came 4th in that. I was young, and I did a tri-services race, and I beat all the army, and I got selected to represent the British Army at running. And I remember all chuffed to bits. And then it was a Monday morning. My OC was Major Hart. I can't remember anyway. Doesn't matter. And he said to me, "You need to go and see the RSM," who was a guy called D. Orban. And I went and seen him. He said, Ranger Coult, congratulations at the weekend. The Commander Officer wants to speak to you. Lieutenant Colonel Baxter. I'd never seen the seal before. I was like, fuck. Marched in, halted, salute. Ranger Coult, welcome to the battalion. Good start. I like how you've been starting off representing the unit. Put us in good stead. And I believe you got selected at the weekend to represent the army. I went, yes, sir. He says, well, no, that's been cancelled. You're not doing that now. And I went, he says, listen, son, you've only just arrived. You're not going anywhere until you learn your trade. And I'm like, sir. He says, now, well done. Keep up the good run. You can represent battalion. You're not leaving us here. You're learning your trade. You're in my battalion. You're an infantry soldier. And I went, sir, out you went. March, saluted, out. That was him saying, listen, fucking calm down. You haven't even become a soldier yet. You learn. And then, and that made me think a lot. And you know what? I think it was a great learning curve, though.
Yeah,
I mean, now, not now, I'm out now. I've been out a decade now. But whenever I was between sergeant and young lads would come in with a bit of with the new sport and were good at, I used to get pissed off and go, fucking no, you're on guard. No. Fucking sort your shit out. You know what I mean? No, my guys are being hammered because you're off fucking boxing and prancing in the fucking gym. You've only been here 5 minutes. No. So I understand now why that happened to me back then. Yeah. Because it does look shit compared. Imagine all the young lads, you've just arrived and you're sprog and all the senior guys are looking at you and you're like having a day off to go for a fucking run. I mean, it must piss the other guys off. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, you have to look after talent. I get that, but you still need to learn your trade.
So what was Catterick like, apart from shit?
Do you know, again, when I was in Catterick, it was just Northern Ireland tours, wasn't it? I was sick of them. I think I did 4 or 5 of those tours. But
was that weird going back home, doing that?
I did East Tyrone, did South Armagh, did Bestbrook, did Killymeal House in East Tyrone. I can't remember. Newry, just outside Newry. I mean, I was all over. I did Palace Barracks, did Malone Road. I just got sent everywhere, didn't I? Just get on with it. Do you know what I used to love? This sounds shitty saying this. I used to love the framework patrols where you was it Sea King? Dropped off by Sea King, whatever it was here, and you had 10 Ks to get to the pickup point. And it didn't matter how you got there, just get there. And it was like out in the middle of the fields, fucking electric fences, trying to climb over them and shit with all the heavy equipment on your back. And you'd get there. You'd always get there about 2 hours early. And all it was is find a spot. We all did it, didn't we? We all did it. Somebody had to keep Dick, though.
Yeah.
the tours were okay. I mean, they were. I'm lucky that I went through those Northern Ireland tours mid-90s onwards. I wouldn't have wanted to do those tours in the 70s and in the 80s. No way.
No fucking way. No.
My dad did it my dad did it in was he 69, 70, Londonderry and stuff like that. He was in Belfast. They had a tough time. I mean,
Yeah, fucking yeah. I mean, we know all the stories, you know. You know, because it interests us as well. It was being,
Yeah.
you know, in the army and veterans and stuff like that. But when you actually interview someone who was there then, you know, and they tell me what it was like, and I was trying to compare it to what I'd been through, and I couldn't. I really fucking couldn't.
He goes, ah, but this. I'd love you to speak to my dad. Actually, my dad goes, what? Fucking General Dan at what? Got an MC where? How did he get one there? There was nothing happening on that day in that street. How the fuck did he get on there? Who wrote him up himself? I mean, my dad was there, and he's like, fuck off. We go down that street every day for 6 months, nothing. He turns up, MC, fuck off, my dad. I mean, it's that's how the guys get on. I mean, like, really, Daddy? Went, yes, really, son. He says, let them have it, fuck sake. And I'm like, okay.
So what was next for you then? What was next for you?
Oh, Catterick. Well, after Catterick, when I was in Catterick, we just did Canada. It was quite a chilled out time, apart from the Northern Ireland tours. And it wasn't until we left Catterick. And where did we go after Catterick? I think we went to Inverness, didn't we? Let me get this straight. No, we didn't. We went to Canterbury. Yeah, we went to Canterbury. Which was part of 16-hour Assault Brigade, actually, because we went from 19 mechanised to 16-hour Assault Brigade, and they've been in 16-hour Assault Brigade ever since now. Canterbury was fantastic. From Canterbury, we did everything. We were put on airborne reaction force and stuff. I went and did recce and did reconnaissance, and I loved it. Did Junior Bracken, which again was a massive test, putting yourself up against other units and trying to be the best. The thing is, to be honest, when I joined the army, I was fit. But I didn't join to be a soldier. I didn't. I had no intention. I didn't give a shit. I got away from Ballybean. I was in a job that paid me. I didn't need to save money for food. Could you go to the cookhouse? I didn't need to think for myself. Someone else thought for me. You know what I mean? That type of thing. All I had to do was get up in the morning, breathe, put my uniform on and be smart, do as you're told. Job? Wouldn't really call it a job. It was fun. I used to go out and get pissed, and I didn't care. I mean, yes, sir, I'll be there tomorrow. I used to go and pray in the morning, pissed out of my head, because I was super fit, still win the BFT, and sober up by the time it was finished, ready for work. So I would get up in the morning like most soldiers, half cut, and I would sober up in the middle of a 6-mile run. And that's it. Go back to work, have a shower, and you're there ready for the day again. That night, for some reason, do the same thing. Get pissed. Even if you didn't have money. Your mate had money. When he didn't have money, you had money. You had money, he had money. You looked after each other. You lived out of each other's pockets. And I didn't really want to be a soldier until my brother joined up, did an NCO cutter, got promoted. And now I've got a brother who's 5 years younger than me, in the same company as me, hiring me. That was a slap in the face.
Oh, fucking hell.
And it was a wake-up call. I went and did an NCO cutter. I came second in the NCO cutter. And then within about 6 months, I was on Junior Bracken. It woke me up. What are you doing? And went the ITB Strensel. There was some surge in the army, and I got sent to Barrybudden to teach an instructor. And the minute they sent me to Barrybudden, which is near Dundee, actually, the minute they sent me there,
I know Barrybudden. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a fucking right in the middle of nowhere. But the minute they sent me there, within about 24 hours, the unit got told possibly deploying to Iraq, Gulf War, and I'm like, fucking taking the piss, really. And I was arguing on the phone with Doogie Beatty at the time, and I got on really, really well with Tim Collins. And I was like, come on, any chance to come back? Listen, Speedy, we can't take you. You're not part of our unit anymore. You're owned by Infantry Training Battalion in Catterick. And I went, come on. How the fuck do you expect me to teach these guys what it's like in war, but I've never done it? I need to go to war to find out what it's like to become a better instructor. And I tried to play the mind games, and they were like, no. So I went, fuck it. And I was trying. Anyway, what happened was I got the train back from Catterick one day from North Allerton all the way back. And I went back to camp, and I turned up on a Monday morning. And he's like, fuck, are you doing here? Sir, I'm back. I'm back to... You cannot come back. You need to get back to Catterick. You don't belong to us. And I went, fuck them, no. And I had this chat with the colonel, and he was like, listen, there's nothing we can do. You belong to ITB. You're off our books. I went, but I don't want to be there. I want to be here with the guys. And Tim Collins said to me, he goes, right, if you're determined to go with us, there's only one thing you can do. If you're RTU'd, then we'll take you back. And I went, how do I do that? He goes, it's in your hat. So I went back, and I was like, fuck do I do here? And I was meant to be teaching during the day as well. So I was doing my teaching job, and I'd call in one of the Fijians. I go, do me a favour, buddy. Yeah. Go tell a platoon commander that I'm racist. He's like, what? Just go and tell a platoon commander that I'm racist. Anyway, so the Fijian, he says, are you sure? I said, yes. He says, okay, Corporal. And he was in the seat of platoon commander. He goes, sir, just to let you know, the Corporal Coult's quite racist. He says, what's he done? He says, I don't know. And he went back and says, he goes, what did you do? I went, fuck's sake, make something up. And the platoon commander was like this here, Corporal Coult, stop with your shit. I'm like, how do I get back? And I was trying all these different things, right? And I just thought, ooh, this is the one thing that got me RTU'd. So I drove out of camp with 2 recruits in my car. Now, bear in mind, one of them's 25, called Foxy, and the other one was 27. So, I mean, they're adults.
Yeah.
But at that stage, they didn't have ID cards, did they? They had a thing called Chit and Loo. Remember Chit and Loo's?
Chit and Loo's, yeah.
The piece of paper, shitty thing on it. So they came out of camp with me, and I pulled outside the pub, and I took them into the pub, and I bought them both a pint. And we sat there. He says, what's your plan? I says, my plan is that you drink that pint and you walk back to camp and book in. Simple. We haven't got ID cards. I says, I know. So anyway, what happens if they ask you how you got out, just say Corporal Coult took you out for a pint. That was it. That was it, simple. So they went in, booked in, big fucking hoorah, 2 recruits outside camp having a beer. They were both in their fucking 20s. Anyway, next time in front of the Sergeant Major, up there, what the fuck? You took these recruits out of camp, blah, 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 blah. I've had enough of you. I says, thank you, sir. He says, you're RTU'd. I went, thank you very much, sir. So the next day I got RTU'd, he sent me back to Catterick. When I went back to Catterick, though, I'd let down the Royal Irish team in Catterick, and they were fuming with me. How dare you come here and do this here, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what the problem was? They wanted to go to war with the battalion, and they couldn't. They were pissed off because I was being RTU'd. I'd only been there about a month. Anyway, but when I went back, I got screwed over. I got sent to go and work in the guards depot. And all I did was clean and fatigues because they were waiting to charge me. So I had to wait to be charged to be RTU'd. So they kept me as long as they could. So I cleaned around the guards depot. And then I got sent from the guards depot to the para depot. From the para depot, working at CQMS stores, cleaning out fucking Norwegians and fucking puffing billies and shit. I was just being a dog's body. And I went in front of the OC. The OC at the time of there was, he was a captain actually. Captain Paul Blair. So he's in there, he's sitting there as a captain, he calls in. He's from Northern Ireland accent. Right, Corporal Coult, you come, blah, blah, blah. Give me a bollocking one day. Get out and don't you dare this, you're here to do this, you're here, get out. Called me a hat. I'm like, sir, saluted and walked out. And then I was there for about a week getting pissed off. What the fuck's going on here? I said, I was getting on his phone to my old RSM. I'm being fucked about here. He says, no, stop. Corporal Coult, you have fucked about them. They're now getting known back on you. I went, all right. And then one day I got called into 2AC Para Depot was Paul Blair. I called me and he stood there. He goes, Corporal Coult, come in. And he called in someone else who was a lance jack. And he goes, Corporal Coult, what I want you to do now is take off your full screw tapes. And I was like, undone the button. He says, and he said to this other guy, take off your lance jack tape, swap ranks. Okay, off you go. and I got bust on the spot. I was like, what the fuck was that all about? Had to swap ranks, guys. So then what happened was about a few days later. I know, a few days later, the other Royal Irish looked at me going, "What the fuck happened to you?" Doesn't matter. A few days later, I went in front of the commanding officer of ATC, and he went, Corporal Coult, welcome. He said, "You're being RTU'd back to your parent unit, but before you go, I want you to take off your stripe." And I went, "What?" He says, "You're being reduced to the ranks and returned to unit." And I went, "What the fuck?" So anyway, I lost my tapes, and I went back to battalion as a ranger. And I went, as I got back to camp, Dougie Beatty said to me, "Get your uniform on and be outside my office." So I'm like, "Gosh." Cobby, known old shape, outside the RSM's office. He marched me in front of Tim Collins. And Tim Collins just looked at my chest and he went, "Put that on. You're a section commander in B Company. Welcome back." Like, what the fuck? But it was a psychological battle just to go to war. I mean, but I thoroughly enjoyed it though.
You know, I mean, yeah. I mean, shit like that you can't make up.
No, it was just,
you know what I mean?
it was tough. Don't get me wrong. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Psychologically, that must have been fucking with you though.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I was never in for the rank. I didn't give a toss. I was like, yeah, whatever. I mean, the rank. I mean, so I went to Lance Corporal. The corporal, bust the Lance Corporal, bust the private, up the Lance Corporal, bust back down, back down to Lance Corporal, then up to Sergeant, and then did I get bust from Sergeant to full screw? I'm trying to think, did I?
All I know is you've made my career look fucking good now. And got
Something like that. And yeah, I went to jail for 6 months for assault in the army. We're having a fight with another guy, and I did 6 months Colchester and out there. But listen, my first part of my army career was a fuck up. I was just a knobhead. Couldn't handle a drink. Couldn't drink more than fucking 4 or 5 pints. It just went to my head. But I didn't care. I joined the army to see the world, have fun, and I did it. And then I think I did about. After about 6 years, I changed. I went through the ranks, and I wanted to be. I still didn't want to get beaten. I wanted to be the fittest full screw. I wanted to be the best full screw. Wanted to do all the courses and just. But see, as a section commander section commander full screw sergeant, looking down on your guys, you know they're going to fuck up. And you know what? It's not. You can't just push them and say no. You do that. Let them make mistakes. And I think that's what makes it better. You start to understand your guys a lot more because you've done everything. You fucked up in the past. And I actually enjoyed it. I think it makes you a better soldier whenever you understand the whole mechanics of starting off as a lunatic, becoming an arsehole, growing up, and then becoming a commander, and then being able to know what the guys need. I mean, okay, it's not perfect. It's not for everyone. I enjoyed it, though.
It always makes me laugh that, where I ended up in my career was working with the grown-ups when I wasn't a grown-up. Even after 20-odd years, I'm 56 now and I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. I've always been surrounded by the younger element, and it's probably fucking me that caused most of the bother as well, to be honest. But you're right, so you get the younger lads going, "Oh, fucking sergeant this, fucking staff sergeant, colour sergeant, whatever, fucking RSM." They don't know what it's like. Yeah, but they do, because they've done what you've done. They've done exactly what you've done. I interviewed an old boy at beginning of last year, and he joined the army in 1964. And he was telling me what they used to do when they got, when he was out in Germany. The stories used to nick and Land Rovers, nicking the duty vehicle, would go on a piss, and what they got up to, what they got caught with, fucking hookers in the block and strippers and all sorts. And I'm just thinking, it's just the same. There's no fucking different. It was in black and white then. That's it. That's all. You know what I
mean? Yeah.
So you got to go to Optelic then, 2003?
Yeah. Session commander, B Company 5 platoon. Yeah.
Yeah, I was out there with 3 Hour Chill on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
What did you think of it?
Wow. I thought it was shit, mate, if I'm honest. because I fought so hard to fucking get there. And then when I got there, it was shit. I just thought, I could be a full screw now. But Tim Collins was crazy. I know. Tim Collins was nuts. Tim Collins got like, the whole battalion and like vehicles and going, okay, forward, let's find the battle. Nothing this way. Back, let's go east. I mean, so Tim Collins drove us around the desert looking for a fight. And we never found a fight. We split up the company groups, went to different locations and stuff. I mean, I remember going out on patrol with my section and just getting all around the fence around a barber shop and getting my hair cut. You know what I mean? In Alanmara. I'm sitting in Alanmara. I've got my rifle. I've got another bloke holding my rifle. I've got a pistol on me. I've got my guys all around the fence. Back of the barbers, front of the barbers, one in the barbers, three. And I'm all around the fence. And I'm sitting there in this Iraqi barber. He's cutting my hair. I mean, it was great.
It was weird, wasn't it? I mean, we ended up like artillery-wise, we did our job, which was great for us because it was the only time we were really, it's fucking war. I was in the first Gulf War, so all the lads who were out on this one, there was very few of them that were in, in '91, and to me, it was great for us as the regiment, because we got to do our war fighting role, and it was brilliant. And then all of a sudden, it stopped. And you're like, now what? And right, you're going into half the battery went down to Alfort Peninsula, and the rest of us stayed up on fucking Shiber Airfield.
I remember that.
But I was like quite lucky that while I was out there, I had a little old digital camera with us, and I was taking video clips of everything, and I made it like a video of it. Like for nearly an hour long, what the battery did during, not a bit of an historical movie, let's call it. But that grew legs, so I kept getting dragged out from where I was at. Right, come with me. What now? Right, we're going up to the clover leaves. We're going up the way. We're going into there. Get your camera out. Oh, get me in it, type of thing and stuff like that, which I fucking loved because I got to see a lot of stuff that the guys on the gun position wouldn't have seen, type of thing. I mean, at one point we were left on the Shiber fucking airbase. It was a fucking bit of desert, wasn't it? And they went, right, we're dry tomorrow. And we were like, what are you on about? Yeah, from tomorrow, no alcohol. Didn't realise we could have any. No, it's all dry tomorrow. And they give us a wink, right? And then one of the guys knew there was an off licence in Basra. And we were like, what do you mean there's an off licence in Basra? Everyone's fucking pulling shekels out of their pockets, like. So me and him jumped in a Rover, drove down there, and he knew where there was because he was on the way to fucking Basra Palace. And he pulled in. He ran into the shop, come back out carrying crates of beer, followed by a couple of chogies carrying crates of beer, and threw them back of the Rover. And that was the second time in my career that I was scared of something happening to me. The first time had been a couple of weeks beforehand, where a couple of helicopters had flown over, and we were doing recce in a vehicle on our own. They'd flew over and then circled back to have a look at us, and we were like, fuck. Union Jack's out and everything going, fucking look, we're English type of thing, or British, sorry. And I was like, that was the only time in my career that I thought, fuck, something's going to happen here. Until that day when somebody drove a car into the back of the Land Rover, and I'm sat in the driver's seat, thought, shit. Grabs my car, jumps out, cocks it, and I'm like, what's happening? And the big crowd appeared around me. I thought, fuck, I'm done for here. And as it turned out, the guy in the car who crashed into the Rover was pissed. And the local crowd dragged him out of his car, pushed his car out of the way, gave him a beating, and said sorry to us. Threw the beer in the back of the wagon, and we fucked off for a sharp rate of nuts. I was just like, when the crowd appears, I'm like, fuck, what do you do?
Yeah.
Do I start mowing them down or something? You know what I mean? There was like, fucking hell, they don't train you for this shit.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, we had an off license in Baghdad actually, but it was in the green zone. It was a safe area, but it was still dodgy to go into. Whenever you drove in the snatch, the gate behind you shut, and you're like, shit. And then this guy opened this room, and it was filled with everything, and you're like, wow, that was pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I got pissed in Baghdad. We had nights off, and you were allowed to we had drink. You can drink. But do you remember this whole thing in the 2-can rule? 2-can rule. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's a 2-can rule.
Fucking jerry cans.
how many people don't drink? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, I want 2 cans off you, all.
Yeah.
So your 2-can rule became a fucking 8-can rule. It did. We all did it, and we just hid it from people. But yeah, I went back to British Embassy in Baghdad actually one night in particular. Had a few beers and slightly tipsy, and I says, "Is there any chance I get the lift back to BSU, Baghdad Support Unit?" No. I went, "Oh fuck! How am I getting back? I've got to be back for the morning." I borrowed a pistol, this dash and trousers, and just walked through Baghdad and walked all the way back to BSU.
Fuck that.
I had no choice. Had no fucking choice. I mean, it's fucking mental. I mean, I should have been dead several times, but that's what I mean. See, when I'm drinking me, I just fucking do stupid things. I mean, I got picked up by a US call sign doing a road check, and they were like, "Where are you going?" I said, "BSU." He said, "Fucking get in and give me a lift back in Humvee," and I got out. Fucking fell out. But
Fuck me.
yeah, it's stupidity. I mean, it's what's done's done.
Yeah.
I got through that tour, and I was like, "Me." I was like, "Take one."
Right, so we'll jump back to the end of Optelic then. I mean, fucking, I'd love to hear it. Whether we should have been there or not, I don't know. That's not for me to say.
Well, it was all based on a lie, wasn't it? We now know that it was based on a
Yeah.
lie. There was no weapons of mass destruction. I mean, Saddam Hussein had carried out atrocities on the Kurdish people. He had used different techniques of mustard gas used on them. So he had done atrocities. But the war was based on a lie. I mean, it's sad, but it was. And looking back on it, do I think we should have removed Saddam Hussein? No, because we destroyed the whole Middle East. It's become unsettled since 2003. It was.
I agree.
So
I had that, you know what? I had that conversation with a guy in the Royal Engineers in a kebab shop in Horner when we come back from Optelic, and I said we should never have done that. And he was like, "Oh, we've lost people out there." Yes, I know we have, but the only person who was keeping the whole area together was the fucking head case in charge. And it's the same with anywhere. Look, you look at Bosnia. You go back all the way back to Yugoslavia. Tito dies. He controlled the area. He dies. The fucking whole place erupts. You fucking you cut the head off the snake. There's not another head to appear. It's fucking. Well, I'll rephrase that. You cut the head off the snake. Many heads appear. They all want the power. And fucking,
we destabilized the Middle East. It wasn't a good thing. Anyway, we can't go back.
And we did it wrong afterwards. We took the Americans' lead. They said this is what needs to happen, and it was wrong. The internment camps that we had there, which basically they were just picking people off the street and throwing them in, and you were throwing normal people in with jihadists who were then turning them into jihadists, and then they're all released and they're all fucking. You know what I mean?
They had the DTDF in Iraq. I mean, it's just it is what it is. At the end of the day, I just know that whenever I was doing my job, that I did it as professionally as possible. Didn't deviate left or right. Just did what I was told to do and did everything within the law. So that's it. I'm not saying anyone else didn't. I'm just saying, whenever you're told to do something, you just do it the best you can.
Don't get me wrong. I'm still proud of it. I'm proud I went there. I've got my medal and I did my job. Whether it was right or wrong that we were there, that's not for us to say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
history has already proved certain people wrong.
Yeah,
but we did our job. But I mean, leave that one there. I like to call it our Vietnam, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Type of thing. So what was after Optelic for you then?
Well, I did a couple of telecs. That was 2003 Optelic, the original one.
Yeah.
2004 was 2004. It might have been Northern Ireland actually after 2000. 2005 might have been Canada or something. No, 2005. Let me get this right. 2005, I was on Telex 7. We were based in Shabalog base, SLB, and we did different tasks in there. We did many different things, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And I did from 2005, it was from the back end of summer 2005 through Christmas, finishing up in February in Baghdad. So, yeah, got involved in a patrol, suicide bombers and stuff, and got awarded the multi-cross in 2000. The action was carried out in 2005. So, and then, so the actions I carried out.
You casually said that, got awarded the military cross. Let's talk about that one, eh?
There's nothing. To me,
I know you're going to say there's nothing to talk about, but people who are going to listen to this are going to go, what? How did he get that? What did he get that for?
It was. I suppose you really call it. It was just it was a patrol. I was on patrol. We were taking up General Houghton. He was a 3-star general, taking up his vehicles to the. Is it the Baghdad International Airport? We were taking his stuff up anyway. We were in Baghdad, so we're going to the Bayab to pick up new wagons on a drops vehicle. Quite a few snatches and a few vehicles. And so on the way up there, we noticed that on Route Irish, we noticed, well, I was in the rear vehicle doing top cover, by the way, the rear vehicle. And what was my arse? 12 to 6. So looking out that way. But on the way up, I noticed the vehicle below the bridge. It was a white Nissan Datsun sitting there, facing the wrong way. So you clock it because you're doing your atmospherics and you're checking everything out. You're looking at permanent, prominent, not too artificial. You're going through the windstop theory. You're looking at registrations. You're looking at what's happening. So, and we picked this up. So we got into there anyway. We picked up the vehicles and stuff. And on the way back out, the last vehicle I'm in leaves, and I'm there again looking, and the wagons all start to pull off in different angles all around the fence, and I heard the shouting at the front of the vehicle, very front snatch, about 6 vehicles in front, and I heard the stop, and then I heard the vehicle started driving towards our convoy, and I was like, fuck. And then it sped up, and the guy in the front fired a round at it, and there's a few more bullets exchanged, there's gunfire. And I wanted to look, but I didn't. I just started looking out where I'm looking out, and I'm observing. I could see an American call sign, civvy contractors coming towards us, and I was doing the hand signal. Then I seen 2 guys running out across. Strange. It was just strange. They started setting up a gun, and I was just watching them. And I fired warning shots. I think I fired 2 warning shots first of all, and then I just engaged them. I got on because there was so many screaming on the radio. The PRRs don't work. The radios don't work. I mean, lift one up, and I got my drivers. Can you bring your vehicle around and park it to the right hand side of the general's vehicle, the one that's vulnerable, to deflect the rounds from that onto us, so he would be safe. His vehicle would be safe, and I just eliminated the threat. Eliminated the threat, and just I remember telling the Americans to get back. Didn't want them part of our convoy. They weren't American soldiers, because we're not like American soldiers. Whenever American vehicles get close to us, we don't mind. It's only us when we get close to them they shoot us. But so I told the contractor to stay back, and the vehicle in front, I believe, had stalled, and we got our vehicle to push it over the Settle reservation because it's massive curbs to get it in. Whenever we drove in back in there to basically quick head count, what's just happened, relax, everyone get their notebook out, don't speak to each other, write down what you think you saw, blah, blah. And we did a little mini statements and everything. And that was it. When we got back into camp, on the way back into camp, I thought nothing of it. It's just a routine patrol for me, just thought nothing of it. Came into camp. When we all had to go into the guard room one by one with the sergeant majors there in the OC. And he came in and go, okay, Trevor Couldt, how many rounds did you fire? 11. Why 11? 2 warning shots, and I fired 4 shots at each individual. Why did you fire 4 shots at each individual? I said, because that's how many it took to eliminate the threat. And they were like, okay, are you happy with that? I went, yeah, okay, out you go. And I remember the OC and the sergeant looking at her and going, and so they're writing notes. So we all had to go in and give a statement. And then I thought this was before Christmas, by the way. And this was 2005. I can't remember what it was, if I'm honest. Maybe November, December 2005. So then I came back. I was in Baghdad doing a recce when that happened. Then I had to go back and brief the company. And then I went up with my own company to then work in Baghdad in January. So January, and then during January, we got told, my OC went, right, the commanding officer needs volunteers. 3 para are deploying to Afghanistan, possibly warfighting, and they're short of manpower. The commanding officer wants a strong platoon to go, a platoon that can compete with the paras. So he wants volunteers first of all until he gets. So I was like, I'll go. And there was other 2 full screws there, Davey and Rob, 2 fantastic corporals. I mean, we competed with each other constantly. I looked up them, 2 good soldiers. All 3 of us volunteered. End of January, the OC comes in. He goes, right, Coult us all in one by one. Right, Corporal Coult, the commanding officer is selecting you to go as one of the section commanders attached to 3 para. I went, brilliant. Davey, you're going. Rob, you're going. Spencer, you're going. And all these guys were airborne in my unit. I thought, fuck, this is going to be a good platoon. So February, we headed back to the UK. I think I had 2 weeks off. 2 weeks off. And then straight back to Inverness. Green kit on, battle kit, training, ICFT, BPFAs. We were doing section attacks, break contact drills, learning how to throw post grenade. It was back into conventional warfare, and we did a few weeks training, and then we went straight on a coach straight to Colchester to Hyderabad Barracks, and we joined C Company, and we did loads of fitness with the paratroopers, non-stop weapons, learning weapon up, down, and we practiced drills, and then we flew out to Afghanistan. And
how did the paras react to this? Because they famously, they don't make outsiders.
When we first got there, we're hat bastards. You're hat. You have to. The thing is with the paras, right? They do get a lot of stick, and the truth is, you have to earn the right to be amongst the Marine Barry. You don't just walk in off the street. You've got to prove that you've got to prove they're very professional. Okay, they're arses and a lot of that drinking. I mean, they are, but I tell you now, every unit is the same. They're probably the most loyal soldiers to their own unit than any other unit is to their unit. So you've got to earn their respect, and if you want to soldier with them, prove to them that you can soldier. If you don't want to be called a hat or a piece of shit, prove that you are a soldier, and that's it. We did all the runs, all the fitness, all the shooting. We went to Oman for a couple of weeks, and we did all the platoon attacks, section attacks, everything, calling in fast there. It was just brilliant. Seeing the 50 cals going and the jets going and dropping bombs, and we proved our worth. And they went, Royal Irish aren't that bad, decent soldiers, and we fitted in, and it worked. I love working with paratroopers, especially I wouldn't want to work with them in camp. But seeing operations, the guys can soldier. They're very good, very robust. And I think I spent some of my without a shadow of a doubt, my best time in the army was working with 3 para on Herrick 4 and working with 2 para on Herrick 8 as a platoon sergeant. I loved it. It was fantastic.
So what was the Afghan tours like then?
I'm
lucky. I never went to Afghan. I class myself as lucky not going there. I've seen the state of some people when they come back from it, and I'm glad I didn't.
I got to do every piece of soldering I've ever been taught in Afghanistan. I got to achieve everything I ever wanted to achieve. Leopard crawling forward, setting off claymores, with the clack in your hand, GPMG mini-me, posting grenades, calling in, I think it was called an ECAS, emergency close air support, calling in choppers, directing. It was just, I got to do everything. Firing off 60mm mortar IR at night time, firing, never in my life, firing it off at night time, getting woke up out of bed to go and set off 60mm mortar IR so that it could light up the whole camp, so the choppers could see it and come in and land and pick up casualties. I mean, where the hell would you do that? I mean,
No.
you learn everything, and I loved it. There's nothing better than leading men in battle and being suppressed and put under heavy enemy fire and having to sit back and go, okay, looking at the map, look at the ground, and actually doing it for real, moving your men into position and suppressing and killing people and moving forward. I mean, it's amazing. It's one of the biggest privileges I've ever had is to do that. The downside is whenever you take one of your own gets hit, and having to deal with the body and missing parts and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I loved it. When we arrived, when we first flew in on the C-130 and we landed on this dusty road in Camp Basham, and there wasn't a single, there's nothing, no buildings, just tents around, and there was like an old Esso petrol tank but filled with water, with holes all along the back of it, driving around the desert, just soaking the ground, just keeping the dust down. I remember that. Getting our ammunition, bombing up, getting all our maps, marking our northings and eastings up, trying to fabble on our maps and stuff like that, and getting it all done, doing it on the cot bed, and then having a backpack with about 30 maps in it of different locations of Afghanistan and where things are, and then being told, okay, head up to the flight line. Your platoon's leaving in a minute. You're heading to a place called Sangin. And I went, what? So we flew into Sangin. We flew into Fort Robinson, picked up snatches, and then drove down into Sangin. Remember that type of thing? And we got to Sangin, and there wasn't a single sandbag filled. It was just a building. There was nothing there. No, nothing. And there was militia there. There was a few militia there. And we went into that building, and we split up 3 sections, 2 in HQ on the roof. Was it section on the bottom, section in the middle, section on the roof, and we had different fire team this side of the building, fire team here, and we tried to secure the building. It was fucking impossible. I mean, you could just at this time all we had was just our fighting order. We didn't have any of our didn't have any others. Let's say specialist weapon systems. We had nothing. We had no claymores. We had nothing out there to put out. Nothing. No tripwires. And we just protected the building. I remember the first round to be fired, big argument. We'd heard on the ICOM, remember the ICOM, the chatter? We'd heard all that stuff, and we knew that we had an interpreter, and we knew that the Taliban wanted to attack the British soldiers in Sangin and all this here, and we were hearing it. They were getting close. It was getting night time, and we'd already worked out our actions on what was going to happen, or who was going to fall back to war if we got casualties. We hadn't even worked out. And we seen all these headlights coming, and we seen this fucking hundreds of vehicles. We were like, fuck, we're going to get hammered. We're going to get hammered. And my boss on the roof, Mr. Kelly, was getting in touch with Fob Rob. RHA and Fob Rob. It was a massive argument on the radio. It was just pathetic. Basically, my boss wasn't allowed permission to call in fire because the fucking dickhead in Fob Rob wanted to call in fire. He wanted to be the first person to be able to fire. And we were saying, no, we can see it here. We will let you know. No, we'll fire. No. I remember my punch getting my phone going, listen, just shut the fuck up and do as you're told, or I'm going to come up there and batter you. And it got ridiculous. I mean, no, we need permission. Can we switch from card Alpha to card 429? Oh, it's got to go all the way back to. What do you mean? It's got to go all the way back to battle group. We haven't had permission yet from London. We can't switch to war fighting card 429. This was 2006. We were like, what the fuck's going on here? At the end of the day, the guys in the RHA dropped us a bollock because they fired up a loom just above our building and lit us up rather than the location where we wanted them to do it. That's how much of an arseholes that they were being to us. So the very first thing fired was an ND from the RHA when they fired it above our building. I was pissed off. We were all pissed off. We all lit up like Christmas trees. And we wanted to fire over that direction, but they did it on purpose. Because my boss and their boss was on. The two officers arguing on the net. It's ridiculous to listen to. 2 officers having the tit-tat. And but yeah, we got away with that. Nothing happened. once they sort of lit us up and the enemy got to see all the shoulders, they didn't come near us. They just stayed away. And it helped having an Apache in the air. So in the distance, that puts everyone off. Right, so we also had jets at that time. And 06, we had jets, RAF flying jets, and you could hear them go straight up the water. That shit everyone up. No one would come near you then. We had to call them in a few times to drop JDAMs in certain locations, but we left there and we headed back into. We went to Fob Robinson. We got picked up by Chinook, and then we went from Chinook to Fob Price, which was known as, wasn't Kajaki. I'm trying to think of the name of the place now, but it was Fob Price. We went there. It'll come to me in a minute, but I liked it out there. It was quite relaxed. There was no cookhouse. There was nothing. It was just tense. It was just the start of the campaign, really, and I was still acclimatizing with the ginger hair. I was like red beetroot and losing loads of weight. I think I was down to about 9 stone. I mean, because you're not eating fatty foods, are you? You're eating rations. You're drinking about 5 liters, 6 liters a day, and eventually you just become thin. I enjoy those tours. I enjoyed the thrill, the seek of the enemy, the seek of the battle, wanting that one battle. And I remember Spencer saying, "Be careful what you wish for." My toon sergeant telling me, "Be careful what you wish for." And I was like, "All right, yeah, I will." We went out and did patrols. First guy that we killed was a young lad on a motorbike, actually. We headed out to do a patrol somewhere, and we were meant to go out and put out a presence because apparently the Kajaki turbines were going to be attacked. So we had to go out and put out a presence of troops in the area. And I remember as we were patrolling out one night from the vehicles, this motorbike come over the crest of this little hill. It was like little buildings. This motorbike with a big, probably the old Yamaha bikes with a big round light in the front.
Yeah.
It was like this, and I was like, let him go. And we were like moving him. And then he moved forward a little bit. And I remember Rob and Davey shouting, Duresh, Lachuna Porta, stop, put your hands up and all that stuff. And he drove down the hill towards us. So he started driving towards us. We all sort of moved off to safe location. And I think I put 2 rounds into his chest. And I think Rob did. And I think Davey fired a round. Wasn't much. And the motorbike landed on its side. I remember looking over at him, he was all twisted, I guess. And the boss says, right, go and check him. Fuck, okay. So I headed over, had a quick scan around the bike. Didn't see anything out of place. Moved forward and knelt down, put my fingers on his throat, just looked at him. And I went, boss, he's gone. And he went, okay, let's have a check. And then I remember Dean Kurgan, acting Sergeant Major of C Company 3 Para. And he goes, right, someone give me a body bag. And I was like, no, I haven't got any. Because you know, the shitty thing is, I had a good body bag. And I didn't want to waste it. So I was like, I haven't got one, mate. I said, I haven't got a body bag. I looked at Rob, and Rob's like, because Rob knew I had one. Rob was like, I haven't got one either. Like, what do you mean you haven't got one? And Davey's like, I haven't got one. And I could see Dean getting pissed off. What do you mean you haven't got a fucking body bag? Fucking idiot. You meant to carry them with you, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't want to waste my body bag on him because my body bag's for me or my guys, you know what I mean? No, it's true though. My body bag's for me or my guys. Not wasting it on that. Anyway, Dean's like, all right, who's got bin bags? We all have bin bags for rubbish, don't we? Dean goes, Dean just lifted the kid up and went, I'm going to have to double bag it. This cunt's a little bit heavy. And then Dean just put, he did it gracefully, but he put the body in the body bag. And then we had the Estonians with us already. They had a vehicle called like a Fox, FUZK, but they had like a Fox vehicle with it looked a bit like an old BRDM. Clearly they're like Russian things.
A German wagon, yeah.
Yeah. And they had pop covers in it. Anyway, Dean put the body in the back of there, and I got in the back of that vehicle. And I'm going to be honest with you, my feet were like ice cold, fucking ice. So I took my boots off and I put my feet in the body bag to keep my feet warm on the way back. Listen, mate, you have to do what you have to do, but the heat of the body kept my feet from fucking freezing on the way back to camp. I mean, Garesh, that's the name of the place, Full Price in Garesh. So that's what it was. And it's body heat, mate. You have to do what you have to do to keep your feet warm. I wasn't doing anything bad. I was just keeping my feet warm in the body. And I got back to camp, my feet were like toast. It was nice. But that was the start.
I mean, people would listen to that and think it's very, but they've never experienced anything like that.
No, you're more. You're talking about this and seeing the desert. This is probably about 2:00 in the morning, and it is really, the temperature's dropped. It's ice. It is really ice, and my toes were like really numb, and I was shaking. So I just put my feet in with the warm blood of the body, keep my feet warm. Yeah, it's probably not the best thing to do, but you know what? It worked for me.
Yeah. No, what I was trying to allude to there was that people would think that's heartless, but it's called fucking war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got to do what you've got to do, like you said.
Yeah. I have no regrets. I mean, at the end of the day, I fired at what I thought was a threat to my men, and that's it. So I don't regret it.
No.
That was the first sort of.
Nor should you.
Well, that was the first time I'd ever actually fired my weapon at someone. So it's a learning curve. It is, but I always worried if I would not want to fire my weapon. What if it comes up? Would I be that guy that didn't do it? And if you're the guy that doesn't do it, let's be honest, your career's over in the infantry. Your career's done. That's you done. Boom. Because other guys around you see you, you're gone. You might just walk away. You need to be able to show the guys around you that you're willing to
do your job.
Not just do your job, but show your guys that you're willing to put yourself in that danger to protect your guys around you. And the minute I learned this in Afghanistan during that tour, see the minute your men know that you will run through fucking fire to get them if they're injured, those guys will never question your orders. Those guys will always go, yep, done, doing it, done, complete. See the minute they have doubts that you're going to be able to help them, then they have doubts if they're going to be able to do that job. And several times I showed the guys, listen, I will be there to pick you up, to drag you back, no matter what it is, just do as I want you to do. And they'll do it. Takes a long time to get there, but we got there. We got there eventually. I mean, because it's not until you're involved in your first engagement with enemy forces that your guys see how you react. And if you react the way they hope you react, from there on in, everything's easy.
I mean, did you have guys that, I don't know, fucking bottled it? And I think that's a bad way to say it, because I've never been in that situation, type of thing. I
had one guy.
You are going to get people who pause, let's say.
Oh yeah, of course. I've had one guy that paused, and he didn't just pause. He just sort of took a step back, and I watched him. And the worst thing you can do is destroy that guy's confidence. The next chance you get, rip into him. Don't do it, because that then will just destroy him completely. All you simply do if that happens is you move him to a safe location. Don't tell anyone else what's happened. Just say, just come here, get back there. What I want you to do now is start bombing up these magazines. Change his mindset. Get into cover, bomb up these mags. I want get the mags off the guys, bring them to you. I want you and you get him out of that situation, and you sort him, and you send someone else with a different task to do something else, and you don't highlight it. You don't destroy someone's confidence because you've seen what they've done. If you destroy someone's confidence when they've done something like that, they will never ever recover. So get them into a little bit of a safe location, give them a different task, and then when the time's right, chat to them privately, away from everyone. and say, okay, don't worry about it. It happens. I want you to do this task next, blah, blah. And then eventually they'll get back in there and they won't question it. But I've seen one or two guys pause and think twice about wanting to engage because they've never done it before. And it's a big ask to ask somebody to go forward and say eliminate something, but it's a big ask whenever you're there. I had this mentality of just, I wasn't as aggressive to get things to kill an enemy until I'd lost a bloke. Whenever I'd lost a bloke, the game changed for me. I just thought, fuck him.
So what happened there then? If you don't mind me asking.
I was in Sangin and I was a session commander, and my platoon commander had just went on R&R, which meant whenever my platoon commander went on R&R, good officer actually, my platoon sergeant was Spency, Richard Spence. Spency stepped up and became platoon commander. And Davy, one of the other full screws, stepped up to become platoon sergeant. So I remember Spency had given us a bit of a brief, what he wants to do. And we were sitting in the orchard in Sangin, just sitting there. We had shell scrapes. We were living in trenches at the time. There was underground trenches, proper OHP, and we had 2 men in each of them, and we were spread out the orchard. That's where we lived. That's where we lived. And we had our mosquito nets up during the day over it. Mosquito net. It was quite relaxing, actually. I mean, we hadn't been hit yet, but we hadn't been mortared yet. And I remember it was coming to about 5 o'clock. But when it comes about 5 o'clock at night plus, then the call to prayer happened around Sang, and all the moss went off, all different speakers. It used to be a pain in the ass, and only because it went on for so long. And what made it a pain in the ass was this. It wasn't the call to prayer that was a pain in the ass. It was the fact that we knew that the minute the call to prayer was over, routinely, we got hit from about 4 locations at once. So the minute we started hearing the we just went, fuck. Because we know we're going to get hit after that. So that was your little wake-up call. Basically, it was them letting us know they're going to hit us. So the minute the call to prayers happened, I remember, okay, my weapon never left me. My weapon was always there. My helmet was attached to here. Everything was sorted. I was ready to roll. I was ready to go. We were all ready to go. But that one night in particular, we heard the speaker going off and the call to prayer. And Davey said, right, fellas, you know what happens next? Right, make sure you're all... Now, I was sitting against this tree, quite thick tree. I'm sitting on the ground, helmet's beside me, got my little notebook, taking notes. Stella McCartney. Well, his name was Brian McCartney, but we called him Stella, right? Yeah. Stella came up. Stella sat to my left here, sitting here. He goes, all right, speed mate. Yeah, good, mate. And because I was a section commander, my 2AC Luke came and sat right beside me here for the orders. So we're both sitting in the orders. And I remember looking at Luke. Now, Luke was a decent soldier. He was. I mean, he was a typical 2AC. I mean, we all had our flaws. He used to be the bane of my life, but I loved him to pieces. But you know what I mean? You know, we had that relationship. Fuck's sake, what have you done now? Type of thing. So he comes, he sits beside me, and I says, "You not got a notebook and pen?" He went. He was eating like a vegetarian meal with a brown plastic spoon. And I says, "Where's your notebook and pen?" He just went, "Well, you're the commander. You're taking notes." That type of shit. And I was like, fuck's sake. And I remember saying to him, "All you do is eat, you fat bastard." And I just went. Anyway, that was the last time I spoke to him. We got hit with a mortar. Now, throughout the day, the Taliban had been firing mortars and had been landing in the wadi. Then there were like 3 would land in the wadi. And then 1 would land out the front of the camp. And what they were doing is they were halving and bracketing, trying to work out the distance. And they fired this mortar, and it landed 15 metres behind me. And the shrapnel just went woof. And the tree that I was sitting at had shrapnel in it. It was cut down. I never got a single piece of shrapnel. Bran got it through his back. And Luke took part of his head off. And that broke me that broke me big style. I'd never been involved in anything like that, and it shook me to my core because I just remember dust, and I had no hearing. I couldn't hear a thing. I couldn't. I could hear muffling, and then as it started to clear, I could see my combats had like blood all over my combats, and I just sat there, and I honestly God, I didn't know what to do. It panicked me. I didn't know what had happened. I was in battle shock, and I looked down at him. I could see him sitting on his side, and I could see the spoon still in his mouth. And I seen him, and he was like, and I remember he had like part of his stomach, and I just, because we were relaxing, I just looked at him and I didn't say anything. I just went okay, and I just done up his body armor tightly, and I said, "You need to head." I was thinking a little bit. I hear people shouting at me, "Get in cover, and all this shit," and I was confused a lot. It's just like fucking, it's like a massive explosion in your face, and you're meant to react. You can't react. I was like, what? And then I looked down at Luke, and I could see the dust was just sitting on his eyeballs. His eyes were open, and it was terrible. It was just like I didn't know how to react. And then one of the guys that were in the trenches shouted, "Get him!" So we got Brian to go over to the medics. He actually walked to the medics to get dealt with. Walked himself, and he still took time to put his helmet on and to grab his rifle, which was beside him anyway. But he still made sure he had it, and away he went. A couple of us lifted Luke and got him into the like a trench. I was in battle shock, and a guy called Billy, it was Billy Owen or Billy Quinn, I can't remember anyway, good medic, started working on him, cut him in the throat, went out and did a tracheotomy on him, tried to get it our way. Yeah, I got accused actually years down the line, well, months down the line, I got accused of, because one of the young lads in the platoon, one of the young lads was watching me, and it got back to Luke's mum that, oh, Corporal Coult sat and watched your son die.
Fucking hell.
I had to carry that guilt for many years because I didn't. But he lost part of his head. Yeah, and I remember because when his shot went an all angle, it actually hit my platoon sergeant as well. He got shot in his back. So that one hit, we'd lost my platoon commander. Sorry, platoon commander on leave. Platoon sergeant, Brian, 2. My 2AC, 3. And there was a young paratrooper who lost part of his hand. So we took 4 in that one hit. And I remember just trying to get him to safety and then we got a CVRT to reverse up. We put Luke in the back of the CVRT. The CVRT had to drive round to the HLS. When I ran across to the HLS to secure, we had a Chinook coming in. It was the IRT, the immediate response team coming in. Great team, them those guys and girls. And I remember getting Luke onto the back of the Chinook, and there's protection on the IRTs. The guys were broken. I don't know what they'd done that day, but they were like broken. I remember I had this bag on Luke's face, like an oxygen bag, and you have to squeeze the bag to air. And I remember saying to one of the guys, fucking get your hand here and fucking start breathing for him. And the guys, I mean, trying to get them, it's one hell of a wake-up call. That night, though, I remember going around each positions with my guys, and that rocked my platoon. That was our first big hit. And to go around each position and to make sure, because I went from being like a section commander to platoon sergeant. Davey went from being platoon sergeant to platoon commander. We all jumped up a rank in that one hit, and it was tough to go around and keep an eye on the guys and to keep it going and keep morale, trying to lift morale up. We just heard that we had lost 2 blokes as well in the other camp, so we were taking big hits there in 2006. It was, I mean, we were losing a couple of blokes every 24 hours. You know, we're 2 or 3 down. We lost 4 here. We've had 2 here. So it was real. It was real. It was in your face. You knew that each patrol could easily result in a fatality. You just knew that was just right up here. You just knew it was in the back of your mind all the time. So I remember going for a walk actually that night, in camp, clearly. I just took myself off to a different part of camp, had a cry, got myself together, and then came back to make sure the guys were okay. But it was tough going, though. I mean, yeah, it was tough going. We had a few tough days out there. I'm going to be honest with you. But it is what it is. I learned from it. So
it's either going to build you or break you, isn't it?
Yeah, it broke me and built me. It did everything. It did everything. I mean, it was now I told you about what happened in Baghdad and wars and Iraq and stuff.
Yeah.
The following day after Luke had been hit and went back, I got a runner came over and said to me, Speedy, the OC wants you. I'm like, fuck, what is it now? I don't know why I was thinking that. I was like, fuck, what is it now? I mean, I'm busy. I'm fucking busy. I mean, I'm going out in a minute to check the claymores. There's so much to do. And is the batteries all charged? Make sure your water bottles, make sure your camel packets, make sure your grenades are primed. Make sure there's so much going on. Make sure the mini-me's are clean. Get the fucking GPMG stripped. I want them stripped now. You've got so much that you're trying to get sorted out and do. And the OC wants you. I'm like, fuck's sake. So I heads in with the OC and he goes, Corporal Coult. The brigade commander's going to call you in a minute. I was like, what? Make sure you're there. The brigade commander wants to speak with you. I was like, what the fucking piss take? And then Mick Bolden, Sergeant Major goes, just get over there. Have you had something warm inside you? A brew or anything? I says, I haven't had a brew in me yet. I'll get one in a minute. He says, there's kettles on and I'll go make a brew. I'm like, a bit unusual. Sergeant Major saying, go make yourself a brew. Use my brew kit. I'm like, fuck it. Yeah. So I went in there and made a wee brew kit. And I'd used the mortar. The plastic things from the mortars.
Yeah.
We'd cut them off. We'd all made fucking proper cups out of those. My mugs.
They're fucking great at things, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember sitting there going, yeah, had a little brew. Then the radio. It was a proper hand. Oh, sir, is that Coult? I'm like, sir, it's Brigade Commander here. Just called to congratulate you. Your name's just come out on some honours list, and you've been awarded multi-cross. And I went, fuck off! I haven't got time for this shit. And I hung up and I walked out. And the OC was looking at me, going, "Did you just hang up?" I said, yes, it's someone fucking about. Right? And he's like, get fucking back in there now. That was the brigade commander. He wants to speak with you. And I was like, what? So my mind was all over the place, having just lost the guy and all this shit. And I was like, what? And he goes, no. I said, sir, come back on the net. It's brigade commander. I said, sir, I apologise. He says, I've just heard the news. I'm really sorry. Give my regards on to your platoon and your men, blah, blah, blah. But congratulations, you've been awarded multi-cross, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, thank you. And the OC went, everything okay? And I went, yeah. The OC knew.
Yeah.
Everything okay? I went, yeah. What is it? I just wanted to say thanks for, he's just saying about the platoon. Yeah. And I walked away. I couldn't tell anyone that. Just Can you hear me all right? Can you still hear me all right?
Yeah. Fine.
Can you give me a second?
Yeah, sure.
A second. Sorry, Andy. That's me. That's my son. Just he's in bed.
That's okay.
So I couldn't go on and tell the guys. How can you celebrate? How do you react? You've just had the worst news in your life. You've just witnessed something terrible. So I kept it quiet. To be told that though the day after you've just lost a bloke, or the next morning after you've lost a bloke is it's quite daunting, and it doesn't sit, and it didn't sit well with me.
I mean, I would say it's like bittersweet, but actually it's not. I don't know how you felt, but I would hope, or I would imagine I would have felt, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I just think, yeah, why fucking tell me this shit now? I mean, I don't need it. But everyone was talking about it. It was all over the Belfast news. It was everywhere. They were letting me know because it just broke in the news in Northern Ireland and England and stuff. It was on the news and stuff, and journalists wanted to speak to me because it was very rare. It was very. I was the first soldier in the Royal Irish Regiment ever to be awarded the Military Cross. Because prior to that, it used to be an officer's award. So it come with a lot of shit. I mean, I didn't ask for it, didn't want it. Has it added any value? Not in the army, no. It added no value whatsoever. It put me on a fucking pedestal. I become a target for everything. I mean, even in my own unit, I mean, there was some guys liked the fact I'd had it, other guys hated me. There was sergeant majors and senior, because I was only a lance check when I got it, so there's sergeant majors and seniors that thought I was an arsehole right up till I got the medal, and then wanted to be my best friend. And then there was guys that were my good friends stopped talking to me. It was just fucked up, that medal. And I was like, okay. And then coming home and leave, it was like, RSM wants to speak to you. So, you home and leave? Yeah. Well, just to let you know, the regimental colonel wants you to pop into Ballymena to have tea and toast. I'm like, fucking no. I'm going home to spend. Oh, and you've got to go to Stormont Building. Sir Reg Empey wants to have lunch with you. I'm like, what the fuck, Sir Reg Empey? What's this shit? Am I getting clothing allowance, am I? No. But I have to wear suits now to go all these fucking places now. Yep. And then it was it was just a pain. It was just a pain. People say, "Oh, I wish I'd have a medal." No, you wouldn't. I mean, I know because I now know. I know dozens of people with gallantry awards, and every one of them has been shit on, accused of everything. You lied when you lied in your citation. This is a lie. That's a lie. This is a lie. You're a scumbag. Yeah, you didn't do this. Oh, he's a fraud. He raised money for charity. Now, the amount of attacks. I mean, a gallantry medal brings fuck all to people but attacks and jealousy. It doesn't bring anything good.
I mean, I've watched some of your podcasts and seen some of your lives where you've talked about it, how it's affected you.
Oh, that's shit.
And the way people have treated you, which, I mean, we can talk about that in a minute if you want. But I don't think it's in the remit of this podcast to know what to talk about what you went through recently with the court case and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you're a public figure now, whether you want that or not. And because of the military cross. But like you said, there's fucking idiots out there that I don't know why they get so fixated on, say, someone like you, that they feel as though because it's not them who's got it, or they've never had your experiences, that they want to take you down.
Oh yeah,
to make them feel better.
I had a senior NCO. I think he became an RSM of Royal Irish. But when he was a sergeant, he come up to me outside the Royal Irish Sergeant's Mess. He went, "Alright, Speedy?" I said, "Yeah, good." I got wrote up for the MC, I said, "Did you?" "Yeah, never got it though." What I did was probably a lot braver than what you did. I said, "It probably was, mate. It probably was, and you probably deserved it." And I just walked off thinking, what a fucking wanker. I mean, that's the type of things I had. I mean, I've done more. I said, I don't care what you've done. I said, well done. Well, do you want come into my room and I'll give you mine. I don't give a fuck. But I had that type of mentality around me, which is pathetic. But
so did that really fuck your career up then? Did that make you dislike the army, or?
Well, I wanted to, as a sergeant, for instance, when I came back from, it would have been the second Herrick 8. So Herrick 8 was another I loved it. I loved it. It was brilliant. It was horrific, but it was brilliant. I went back this time. I wasn't a session commander. I was back as a platoon sergeant, and I just loved it, knowing what to do. I mean, what I wanted them, how I wanted my guys to move across the ground, what I wanted to carry, how many team medics I wanted. I wanted at least in each section. I mean, you may think this is crazy. I wanted at least between 4 and 6 team medics in each section. I wanted every man to be able to do everything, and I worked really well. I mean, I nearly had, I think I had about 16 team medics in my platoon. I made sure that I had everything. For instance, on my second tour, you have a CMT1 with you, which is usually Royal Army Medical Corps. Great medic, a girl called Kelly. But I also had in my platoon an RMA3, one of my own guys that I sent off for months to train up. So I had, for instance, I had my RMA1, which was with me, the back platoon sergeant, but I had an RMA3 at the front. So we could hit from either end. I had someone there specialised. I mean, I had it to a T with how we moved, how everyone worked. I loved it. That was another tough tour, actually. One of my guys, well, I ended up a casualty as well in an ID strike. I think I had 5 in my platoon injured in one go. Ended up going into Bashan to get cleaned up, and then the next day, with me having been thrown into Bashan, morphined up and get dealt with, I think within 24 hours I was back out. You cannot be seen. I mean, it sounds shitty, but when you're platoon commander, platoon sergeant, and you've got guys below you, and they lose you, their morale goes woof. So you get back, the minute you can get back and show them, back guys, let's move again. We took a hit as well on Hurricane. We had quite a few battles, actually. Air assault battles, flying into enemy territory and Chinooks and stuff. And one of the patrols, we got out all around the fence. We started moving off the start line, and we took heavy fire coming in from different positions. And we lost Sergeant Major Mark Williams. He got shot. He got killed within about the first 5 or 6 minutes of that battle. And then I was trying to hold back my medics. I didn't want to send medics forward because we hadn't won the firefight. We hadn't suppressed the enemy. We would have just taken more casualties. So once we were able to win that firefight, I was able to get forward and pull Mark into a bit of a dip in the ground, and medic worked on him, but he had been killed. So then it was just looking at him and going through his kit, getting out all this. It sounds weird, but I mean, someone's just died in front of you, and on my mind, I'm like, okay, he's dead. Okay, he's dead. Okay, serialized kit, ammunition, and I start moving it around and just making sure I have everything passed on to his guys. Who's the commander here in the powers? The SFSG guys. Okay, full scoop, come here. That's his watch. That's his compass. I'm passing serialized kit across. You're now accounting for that. My radio wasn't working at the time. I think my radio was damaged. So all I did was, I just fucking took his radio, put it in my backpack, get it all working, got it all thing. Yep, boom. His one it went back, and then we had to get I suppose you call it a Casevac party together and carry Mark's body back down to the hill to the RSM and the doctor and bunge it to the fucking vehicle so it stays there, and then get back into battle, get back in and start moving forward again. So there was that. You learn so much about yourself. I mean, what you're able to cope with, but it's just trauma. You're trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma, and then was it after that happened? I can't even remember. So we did really well. We got a good thumbs up from Brigade Commander and the CO for what we did during that battle. It was well done. And I think a few days later I was out patrolling. My radio up, lost his fucking arms and legs, died. I had to go up and fucking start searching for his body parts and get him back. And it was, it's just constant battle. I mean, don't get me wrong. it never leaves you. It's there. It's right there. I can see everything that took place, and there's no fucking mental health specialist can ever change that. You learn to cope with it, but it still gets you emotional. It still makes you feel sad.
Yeah, of course it does.
But it's soldiering. It's what soldiering's all about. I remember coming back in having lost couples. Whenever he stood in three 105s, 105 banked, ripped them in half. It also took the hands, all the fingers off my interpreter, and took my interpreter's face off. I remember getting back into camp and being so fucked off because I gave over that at T4. Somebody just might give me a apology. Fuck you doing him a T4 over that. I was just so broken. I went, because he's got no fucking arms and legs and his back's been blown off. That's why he's a T4. Okay? And he went, don't ever tell people the net someone's a fucking T4. Everyone knows you've lost the bod. Always say he's alive. Always say he's a T3 or a T2. Don't ever say that, because the morale goes down. And I was like, fucking morale is down. And we were arguing in the middle of a fucking contact. And then we got into camp. And Frankie O'Connor, by the way, I learnt from him. We got back in the camp and Frankie took me away for a chat. And he said, right, guys, we took a big hit. My platoon would go in, do what we need to do to get back. If we lost the ball, we lost the ball. We never usually, we were aggressive and we got the job done. And we'd come in and Frankie be like, okay, I want to see the fuck. He stepped over me now. He's like, I want to see the fucking weapons. I want this done. They've got fatigues to do. I need 4 years to go and work with Joey in the stores. And he was hammering us. And I was like, what the fuck, Frankie? Give the guys a break. No, I won't give the fucking guys a break. And he hammered my platoon. He's a sergeant major. I'm like, it wasn't until away during that tour I sat and looked at Frankie. And I was thinking, I would go back to the tent because I was sleeping with the guys. I was doing everything with the guys. And I sat there and I was listening to my guys bitching about the sergeant major. They were saying about how much they fucking hated him. And I just sat there and I listened. And then I went for a brew, went and sat with Frankie. He went, are you all right? Yeah. Give me a cigarette. I didn't even smoke. Started smoking. Give me a cigarette. He went, what's the guys doing? I says, they're around there bitching. They're bitching. What about? He knew. Bitching about you, Frankie. They're bitching about you, fucking hate you. He said, that's good. But they're not talking about the fact they've just lost a bod though, are they? And I went, no. Because I've changed their mindset. They're now, rather than moping about losing a bod, they're bitching about me. He said, that's my job done. He just sat there and I went, you know what I mean? I mean, I just thought, you fucking prick. But you know what? It makes sense. It makes sense. So the guys think the sergeant major's a prick, and the sergeant major's going, that's my job done. And it's not to be a prick. It's not. He's just taking those guys away from being depressed and losing a friend to now thinking he's a dick because they're doing fatigues. He's changed the whole mindset. And I just thought, you smart fucker. It's a learning curve.
It is. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the personality of a person can do that as well. You know, it's training. It is training.
I learned a lot, man. I mean, the guy was just, he was awesome sergeant major, but my sort of attitude changed that day. I was like, I get it. Yeah.
And did you want to like progress up then and become him? Or not him, but you know.
I'm gonna be honest, when I came back from Herrick 8, I was mentally broken.
Right.
I mean, mentally broken. I've been involved, and I don't know, on that one tour, probably about 60, 70 different gun battles. and it was just I was mentally exhausted after that. Being casevaced, having been blown into the river, and I having my eardrum perforated. I damaged my right knee on an explosion, and I picked up body parts and carrying dead soldiers. And it was just, I came back broken. A part of me stayed there. I was lost. I had no appetite for it anymore. I'd burn a man. I'd just done the Gulf War, just done Telic 7, I'd done the Baghdad thing, I'd done the Herrick 4, where I lost my 2AC, and it was just, Trevor's got an MC, he needs to go and do this, he needs to go and do that, he's going to do that. I remember coming back and just, I had my partner that I was trying to settle down with, and I went and seen my sergeant major about it, and he went, okay, I see it, so you want a break? I says, yeah, I just want to go out for, I want a break for a while, can I go to the recruiting team or something? Okay, well, yeah, okay, tell me why. I want to settle down, I want to have a family. Okay, it seems, okay, it's good. Went to the RSM, and he was like, I see you won't buy it. I'm like, what do you mean you won't buy it? CEO's got plans for you. You've got an MC. He's got your career marked. The brigade's got your career marked out. I went, I don't want to do it. I want to go and do this. No. Went to see the CEO, commanding officer. Went out to see the commanding officer. Had the RCMO in there, the fucking Battalion 2AC. I had the fucking adjutant, had the RSM as a sergeant major. I said, why is everyone in the office here? I'm here to speak to the commanding officer. What do you want? Sir, I would like to go to the recruit team or something, or go somewhere. I want to have a break. Why? I want to settle down. No. You're going to the UPTAG as a colour sergeant instructor, and you're going next month. I'm like, I've only been a sergeant. I mean, this is Harrogate just finished. I got promoted to sergeant during Harrogate, having done platoon sergeant battle course. I've only been a platoon sergeant for fucking 4 months. I know. But your MC and your trajectory, you're going down to take over Colour Sergeant Tony, somebody, I can't remember his surname now. You're taking over him? UPTAG? I went, can I have time to think of this? I want to go and speak to my partner. I went and spoke to her, she went, okay, as long as it's not Afghanistan. If it's not Afghanistan, then why not take it then? We can just, we can get married within the quarter. I went, okay. Went back in, seen the RSM, goes, yeah, as long as it's not Afghanistan. Oh, it is? It's Afghanistan. You're going to be part of an UPTAG training team 8. You're going to be flying to Afghanistan, and you're going to be learning the teaching techniques to teach the guys at UPTAG. You're flying out there. You're going to be part of the battle group. I went, I'm not going to go. Why not? I don't want to go. I've already done 2 tours of Afghanistan. Fucking Tony started. I went 2006. 2006, I'm in fucking Afghanistan. 2007, I'm up Telic 7. 2008, I'm back in Afghanistan. I've had enough. I want a break. No. I said, well, fuck it then, I'm going. What do you mean you're going? I'm leaving. No, you're not. Went back to my room, phoned up the missus, she says, I'm just going to go, come with it. How can you leave? Give me a second. Now, I was in Colchester as a detainee many years ago. So I picked up the phone and I phoned up Paul McGrath, who was a training warrant officer down there. I says, Paul, it's Trevor Couldt, Speedy. Oh, right, Speedy MC. I says, here we go. Yeah. I says, listen, can I transfer there? Are you serious? Yep. We would accept you tomorrow. There's a new props course starting next Monday. We can have you on it. I'll go and speak to the RSM and we'll get you fast tracked on. I says, you sure? Fucking yeah, of course I'm sure. An MC coming here? I went, all right. I says, can you do all the stuff for me then? He goes, yeah. Have you told anyone back there? I've told him I didn't want to be here, I wanted to leave. He says, well, it's okay. And he went and checked all the paperwork. He went, well, because you're not marked down for deployment or anything, you can transfer at any time you want. It's on section this and section that. I went, thank you. I went back up and seen the sergeant major. I said, sir, I'm out of here on Friday. That's me done. He went, what? And I explained to him, and he went, fucking no. I says, I am. I asked him for a break. He said no. So I'm gone. He went, don't do this. I said, I don't give a fuck. I said, I've done everything I want to do in the army. I've led people in battle in the Gulf War. I've led people in battle between sergeants. I've achieved everything I wanted to achieve. The only thing left to do here is go through the ranks, be a colour sergeant, count blankets, and go up. I says, I'm done. I says, I wanted a break. He won't let me have one, so I'm finished. And I went and seen what to do. Went to see my OC straight away. Sergeant took me to the OC. So, right, okay. Didn't go near the RSM. Didn't go near the CO. Went to Sergeant's Mess. This was on a Friday. Went to Sergeant's Mess. Packed up my room. In a van I got from the MT, and I drove out on Friday evening, and I've never returned to Royal Irish since. Didn't go to leave and do. Didn't go to leave and do. Nothing. Just disappeared. Haven't been back.
So that was you. You went to MPSC.
Yeah. Drove up. Just left the camp. Didn't say.
So how long did you do there then?
I did there from 94 to 2008. So what? 14 years.
Wow.
Just left. Didn't say goodbye to anyone. Didn't say goodbye to any of my mates. Just left. I think I was just broken. I was just internally broken. I just didn't want to be there. I could feel myself falling apart.
I could totally understand that. And the other aspect of it is you probably thought that you're not their monkey. You're not going to do tricks for them.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It sounds awful because I had some really great friendships there, and in the end, I just stopped. In the end, I just stopped talking to people. I just stopped talking to people. I just was. I think Afghan just fucking destroyed me. It ruined my soul, my heart, everything. It took everything from me. It took everything.
So when did you finally leave the army then?
2015.
And how was that for you transitioning back into Civvy Street? I mean, hang on a minute. I don't want to go back a minute. So you were at Collie as a screw.
Yeah. Well, when I went there, I got fucking sent to work in a training wing, teaching fucking Herrick specific drills, break contact drills, how to fucking everything. I was there just in a training wing, teaching, writing training programs, taking the guys out, weapon handling, map reading, first aid. I just taught in a training wing. I had everyone coming in. I dealt with Danny Nightingale when he came in from the Marine A. I mean, I looked after them all. I dealt with had quite a few Hereford guys come in, being demoted through the ranks and sent there. And Marine Recce platoon patrols.
I did 98 days in there. So not the 6 months that you did, but I did 98 days. And as an inmate, you'll probably say the same thing. It's all right.
First 24 hours make you shit yourself. After that, it's just so roping it. It's easy, but it's not a punishment, as they say. It used to be a punishment. It's not a punishment now. It's a correction. So they've changed the wording.
As I say, corrective training centre.
Yeah, I mean, I went there, and so I went there in 2000. I went there, did Harrogate. So it was 2009. I went there, and then in 2012 they sent me out to Afghanistan. I was like, what the fuck, really? Again? But it was a different role. It was as a handler. So my job would be when I went out there, I was part of the intelligence exploitation force, and I would get called at night to fly out on the Chinooks to land out in the area where task force would hand me captured Al-Qaeda and Taliban, and my job would be to bring them in and to prepare them for, we'll say, exploitation and to get information from them. So, and that was my role out there. We had
I mean, that sounds like interesting, but I could imagine it could get a bit mundane as well.
It's fucking dangerous. It's dangerous being around him. You've got 40 Al-Qaeda and Taliban in a compound, and you're there walking from A to B, and it's moving them around. And there was one time they did kick off. It's quite dangerous because they will kill you, because the British are too light on how to look after people. But one time in particular, I remember we had these numbers. They all had detainee numbers. Like UK, it would be a UK, and then it would be the name of the brigade or task force that got them. Then you'd have their detainee number and all that stuff. And I remember everything. It's so high end that you can only hold detainees for 28 days. Anything over 28 days, you need to get a parliamentary extension. It needs to come from the Cabinet Office for extending these. So when the Red Cross get in touch and they go, how long have you had this one in for? It's never over 28 days, because at the end of each 28 days, it resets to day one. That's how you get around that, right? So there's ways to do it. But we had, one stage we had the brigade, the Helmand Brigade Commander, Taliban in. We had the OC of Upper Gresh Valley, and we had a colonel of another rank somewhere from a different area. And we had them in. And they fucking hated each other. They hated each other.
Very tribal warlords, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I sat down with a guy called Mohammed Noor, who was a brigade commander. And I sat down with him, and he spoke perfect English. I was sitting there. I have never seen a man so handsome. He had really, really tan skin, beautiful, not a blemish, just pure tan. His beard was beautifully trimmed and black and short, and it was like it'd been just done. It looked like it'd been done on a Turkish barber. He looked so perfect, and his hair was gelled back and it was long, and he just looked. He looked like royalty, and I remember looking at him going, and we had this chat, and I got to know him. He was in there for a while. He wasn't in there for longer than 20 days, but he was in there for a while, and I remember sitting chatting to him. I'd bring in a tearing of green tea that they had, and they had their breads and their foods that they eat, the vegetables. And he'd sit there chatting to me, doing this, going through his prayer beads, right? Counting his Hail Marys. And I said to him, says, where did you learn to speak English? Sandhurst. What? Went to Sandhurst? Yeah. Told me what year. He went to Sandhurst many years before. He used to be part of the Northern Alliance. I was like, okay. All right. He said, I've worked with the British before. Yeah, I know all your tactics. Do you? So I know that whenever we fire at you, you're going to, before you arrive in these areas, do you not realise what we do? We would sit back and we would look at where we know you're going to go to. We know that you're going to either go high ground or low ground, you're going to go into gutter, you're going to here. We know. When we decide to take you on in an engagement, we know where you're likely going to go to get away from that engagement. And I'm like, they studied everything. I mean, it was interesting. I found a lot out. I got a call one night, came across from the BPO, the Brigade Provost Officers, telling us that such and such detainee 1, 2, and 3, don't tell anyone. But in the middle of the night, 3 teams of us had to go at the same time into compounds and extract 3 people, stick them on the back of a C-130 and fly to Bagram and hand them over for exploitation to another force. Friends. Hand them over to friends. But yeah, did that. Did a few things like that. I mean, Bagram was a fucking shock in the system to go in there for a start. But I enjoyed that side of it, the exploitation side of it, where I got to see how things are done at a different level. But felt angry sometimes when I was having to walk Taliban to the front gate of camps, take off their cuffs and blindfolds, pay them, and say sorry for holding you here and letting them go. We did that a few times. That was quite annoying.
Can imagine it will be. Fucking That would really grip my shit, like, to
It's
be honest.
disheartening.
Yeah.
I did an interview in Panorama a few years ago with a guy called Mark Urban when I was out in the military. And we did it was dispatches. We did a program called Dispatches, Panorama Dispatches. And I mentioned a few things in that programme. And it went out in the BBC on the Monday. And then it disappeared. Wasn't allowed to be. You can't find it now. Gone. I mentioned a few things in there, whereas I was asked. In hindsight, Trevor, had you have known at the time that the individuals that you were fighting against were going to be released, would you have taken prisoners? And I went, nah. I'd have fucking eliminated the lot of them. Pointless. Well, the MOD shut down that documentary.
Fucking hell. But it's, yeah. I mean, Geneva Convention, fucking rules of engagement, blah, blah, blah. But,
isn't it weird, though, that the rules of engagement, Geneva Convention, are only for us?
Yeah.
Enemies don't go by Geneva Convention rules of engagement.
No.
The good guys always shit on.
Yeah, I've had this conversation many times with people, that we try to keep it, we're within our lanes, we try to keep it legal and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, of course we do, yeah.
But sometimes you've got to step outside them lines because it's the heat of battle, it's war, you don't...
Well, do you know
different situations require different answers sometimes, I'd say.
Do you know how many people were prosecuted? How many Taliban were prosecuted? None.
No.
Everyone was released. Every time we brought someone in, I remember this. I mean, we used to go out and we'd use hide and seek, the names of different equipment. We'd do the retina scans, the mouth swabs, the fingerprints, the iris scans. We'd catch them. We'd link them with forensics. We'd link them to bombs that people killed. Still wasn't good enough. It still wasn't good enough for prosecution. Yeah.
I mean, that leads me on to, before we, talk about after you left the army. We spoke earlier about the peace process in Northern Ireland and how it's, might not agree how it happened, but it seemed that it has created a better time or a better life for people.
Yeah.
Afghan, we just fucking walked away.
Yeah.
It was just, it reminded me, you remember like on in the Dad's Army, you've got the arrows going over like that. And it's basically the Brits walking away and the Americans walking away first. And then the Taliban's just fucking doing that, and then we've gone and they're just, they were there the day, the last day. And it's just like, what was the fucking point of being there?
Yeah.
And I've seen the argument from other people where they say, well, we did good there as well. We did change the place. Well, not now, you haven't. It's all gone back to how it was. I can see the good that we did there when we were there. Getting women and children into schools and universities and education, medical and stuff like that. And, to try and, I wouldn't say lift their life up, but to make it better. It was happening.
Giving them false hope.
Yeah. Well, not intentionally though, I don't think.
Well,
we could have still been there now.
We could have, but America left whenever we were all asleep. Left in the middle of the night. Biden administration, and even though they left during a Biden administration, they still blame Donald Trump for it. He wasn't even the president, but yeah. I think that's the exact reason why the Ukraine and Russian war has lasted 3 years.
I think without going into too much on that one, I do think there's too many people making money.
Well, you got to bear in mind that
I don't mean the Ukrainians making money either. I don't think it's the West. That.
You got to bear in mind that the West was embedded in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean now. Yeah.
So whenever you pull out in a shock move, whenever the West, every country in the West had units in Afghanistan, what are we going to do with all the ammunition that we've had made for Afghanistan? Let's just keep sending it to Ukraine. They can fire it off at the Russians. So the West has been sending all. Why do you think the West gives all their military aid to fucking Ukraine? We had made munitions, rockets, missiles. They've all got run-out dates, but we had billions of pounds worth of contracts throughout the West. So we've just spent the last 3 years getting rid of it all, giving it to Ukraine to fire at Russia, and it's probably running out round about now. So maybe now is the perfect time for a peace deal. That's just me thinking out loud.
It's not going down that route, eh?
Just thinking out loud, man.
So when you got back from there, and was it time for you to leave then?
No. When I got back from my third tour of Afghanistan, I was teaching in training wing. It sounds weird. I was teaching in training. I was doing a lesson. I was doing the orders process, which is REPE, receive. This is crazy. I was teaching the orders process, REPE, receive, extract, estimate, prepare, and issue. I was teaching. I was breaking it down. I was showing the guys how the orders process works, and I used to have all the cards cut out in the right colours and laminated and all. I had everything for everyone. I loved teaching, and I was teaching the orders process, and I looked at the class, and I went, right, guys, what we're going to do now is, my mind went blank, and I looked at the board, and the weird thing is, I forgot how to use the fob. I went, what the fuck? And I started having a panic attack. I went, I don't know what to do, and I couldn't remember the lesson. And I went, and then I felt a tear in my face, and I went, right, everyone, fuck it. Before we start, nip out now, grab yourselves a coffee, and if you smoke, burst into flames. I'll be back in a minute. And I walked into staff change room and sat there and just cried. My fucking just fell apart. I just couldn't remember the lesson. My mind went blank. I just started crying. Didn't know what to do. That was the last thing I did in the army. I walked over to see the RSM, knocked on his door, and I just walked in and sat down and just cried. He went, what the fuck is wrong with you? I says, I don't know. Can't remember anything. And he fucking knew straight away. He went, no dramas. And he pulled his blinds. He had no dramas. Just sit there. He went to the door and pulled the blinds of the door. Just sat there. He went, just relax. Do you want a cup of tea or coffee? Cup of tea. I drink coffee, cup of tea. He left me for about 15 minutes. And came back in with a cup of tea. Just sat there and went, right, got a driver to come pick you up. I'll take you home. Okay, stay at home. Don't go out anywhere. And if you booked in, if you want to see the doctor, blah blah. He just knew. I had a breakdown. I've never heard of it before. I just had a fucking mental breakdown, and I didn't know how to do anything. I couldn't remember any lessons. I remember it now, but back then I couldn't remember anything. Didn't know what to do. Panicked.
Did you have any build up to that? Like feelings, psychological emotion.
My build up.
Or did you just think you were fine?
I thought it was. No, I didn't. I knew it wasn't fine. But what I was doing is I was coming into work in the morning, putting the kettle. I'd go and pick up the kettle, put the kettle on, look, not full enough, take the kettle away, go to the sink, start cleaning it, clean the kettle, put it down, wipe the kettle, clean the kettle, put it in, put fresh water, don't I got water, filter the water, put it in, go to the plug, clean the plug, get the cups, wash the cups, go to the spoons, brown on the spoon, scrub the spoons, put the spoon down, get it all done, go to the computer, make sure the table's right. This was my routine, make sure the table's right, make sure it's right, check my board, training program, where's all the cards, right, go over here. I was constantly keeping busy and constantly focusing on getting everything fucking right, that the minute I sat down, I just exploded and fell apart. I didn't know what to do. I think
so. You developed your OCD.
Yeah.
Right. That happened. I mean, not fucking hell. I'm not comparing what I went through to what you went through. No, by no means. But one of the things that I found when I was going through my bad time was that part of my brain was going, right, you've left the back door open, you've left the gas on.
Yeah.
You haven't locked your front door. And that's your brain stopping you thinking of that. That part of the brain stopping you using this part of the brain to remember it. It's just blocking it. It's mad.
Door. Do things, check the door. Do things, check the door. Do things, go out, check the door, lock the door. Before I go to bed, I'll go and lock the door again. It's a routine I have where I don't want to sit down and dwell on the shit side of life, which is things where trauma is. So I keep this side fucking super busy. And the minute I've done everything and I sit down, I've checked the door, I put water up. That plant needs water. This plant needs water. That needs water. That needs water. Once they're done, I'll sit down and I'll go, maybe that needs a dust. That needs a dust. That needs a dust. That needs a dust. Oh, fuck. That needs a hoover. The minute I've done everything and I sit down, I've too much time in my hands to fucking think about shit. So that's why I'm always doing a rant in the morning. Get the shit off my chest. Be focused. Maybe do a rant during the day. So I do rants every morning on YouTube to get the shit off my chest. Things that are winding me up, because if I don't see the news and things that's winding me up, then I'm going to do something stupid today. So I just keep focused, and I need to have a goal. I need to have to keep moving forward, or else life falls apart.
So how did the military treat you then? Through this process.
My unit were terrible. My RSM looked after me on day one. I never had a visit. They never spoke to me again. The RSM said, go home. I got a call. I was home for about a week, nothing. 2 weeks, nothing. A phone in camp. The RSM went, oh, no, you're not part of here anymore. You're part of DCMH now. I said, okay, no troubles. I went and seen a good psychiatrist. I can't remember. She was brilliant. I went and seen her a few times, 6 times in a row, 6 weeks. We have this good rapport with her, and I kept seeing her. She was brilliant. But then I got a call from my unit guard, the guy that's on guard. Sergeant Coult. Who's this? It's Sergeant Kelly. What's up, John? They call me Sergeant for. I've been told to tell you to bring your 1157 in and just leave it in the guard room. I went, what? I said, no. I'm only passing on a message. I said, well, fucking tell him no. I said, you're meant to go in and sign and get everything clicked off your fucking list, because if I go in and dump my 1157 in the guard room, some of you bastards will steal my kit and I'll get billed for it. Right? And he went, I've just been told to tell you what to do. I said, well, fucking the answer is no, I won't. Okay. Anyway, that was it. Never went into camp. 3 months were down the line. I was going and I was seeing the psychiatrist from a fucking complex PTSD. And then one day I got told, you're on COs. I went, what? You're on COs. Okay. I've been told to tell you you don't need to come in combat still, or military uniform. Just come in civvies. I says, really? He says, yeah, okay. So I wore a shirt. I was smart, and I walked in, and I was on COs, and he gave me my fucking just an A4 page of conduct. That was it. Shook my hand. I was out the army. I got don't know how I got this. That was me out the army. He gave me exemplary in conduct, which was a fucking lie, because I'd done 6 months Colchester, so that was a lie. So it was an outstanding report, but it wasn't me. It was like a generic report to make me look like brilliant, but it was just bullshit. Signed by someone called Logan, ex-Rifles commandant, and that was me at the army. And I was like, I'm out the army now. So I just got my whole 1157, and I took it down to the cadets in Colchester, and I went into the hall, and I just had about fucking 6 different types of vests. I just said, here, it's yours. And I gave my whole 1157 away to the cadets. And that was it.
Well, I mean, fucking hell. I mean, I just can't get my head around that. They knew that there's something wrong, and they just fucking washed hands here.
Yeah.
And that happened far too many times.
I've been better. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you.
I don't blame you.
I've been better for years because of it. I've been out the army now. I've been out the army in February 2015. But it's bitter. I mean, the weird thing is this. Everyone knew I was fucking broken. And no one knew how to cope with it. Sometimes just calling around and chatting a brew is sometimes enough to get you through the day. And they didn't.
You know, I mean, I've only learned it recently that, you know, the best thing in the world to do is what we're doing now, is talking. It really is. Talking and walking is the best two things you can do.
Mm.
When I was in the army and I seen someone who was poorly, let's say, you know, to not put too fine a point on it, I was guilty of doing what everybody else does, and that is fucking going, whoa, and trying to stay away. One, because it's deemed weak. You know, no matter as much as we don't want to say that, it was deemed weak. It was. Is the whole, you know, you don't fucking tell people how you feel in the army, and, you know, you try and deal with it on your own. Or sometimes you don't even know you've got an issue. And there's the old, the male mindset as well. There's not wanting to admit that you have an issue and not wanting to talk to people. But I'll admit, I was as guilty as everybody else. When you've seen someone like that in the military, you tend to shy away from them.
Oh, yeah.
But I've seen that as well from the fucking top as well. You know, within a regiment, the top of the, you know, just fucking get rid of him. Just get him out of the regiment. Get rid of him. Then he's not our problem anymore. And to do that to you, especially with what you've been through and stuff, it's just it's shit.
It's a hard pill to swallow. But what I have noticed is everyone that sort of turned their back on me whenever I was going through a tough time mentally, when my marriage fell apart and I was homeless and I was living in a van, no one reached out to me. A woman from Safa did help me out. She was fantastic. I'm still friends with her today, actually. But I was getting shit on. I mean, I was raising thousands of pounds for different charities, and no one was asking me if it was okay. I didn't want them to, but sometimes it's nice to someone, all right, mate, you all right? But so I went in the gutter mentally, had to go through therapy, and so I tried everything, actually, and I got myself in a good place. I started writing books, started publishing books, started having a regular slot on GB News, started doing loads of programs, loads of news things, getting involved in things. Became good friends with many well-known people and working with the media, building my YouTube channel to 100,000, 150,000, keep moving. And then see the bastards that ignored you, then they start coming. Hi Trev, how are you? Any chance for a free book? Any chance? No. Fuck off. I don't need you now, do I? I needed you back then when you turned your back on me. And now that I'm in that direction, you want to... No, I'm sorry. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I spot them. I spot them coming now. Yeah. I can spot them. Had one a while ago.
I mean, what decided you to start writing then? What brought that on?
To try and get rid of the trauma in my head. To try and get it out. Because once it's written, to write it, to go through diaries and to write it down. You write down your page. You write down. You keep going. You keep going through the day. It's the whole battle picture still in your head. And if you open up your diary and it says 5th of June, this happened, and you go and you're writing it down, what happened that day. The whole scenario comes alive again in your head. You're like, yeah, next day, yeah. And see, once you've written that chapter and you put the chapter there, you never have to visit it again. It's there. You've just dealt with that. Next chapter.
Did that work for you?
Yeah.
Because I writing therapies I've looked into or spoke about with people.
Yeah.
And it seems a very, very good thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of people have benefited from writing their feelings.
It's
not maybe writing a book, but writing it down, getting it out of there.
Yeah.
And onto a paper.
Getting it dealt with. It's uplifting to get it out of your head and to get it down and to put it away. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, first into singing, I cannot remember. I cannot remember the name of any of the chapters. I don't know. I know what happened in Afghanistan. I don't know how I portrayed it in the book because I went through my diaries.
You've never read it?
No, I've never read it. The minute I wrote the chapters, it was dealt with. The minute the book was written and it was published, my diaries, people say keep them, rip them up, bin. I don't have diaries anymore. What's in the book's in the book. I don't know the name of any of the chapters in it. I don't know. I fucking don't know any of the chapters. I've never read it. The only thing I have read is once it was done, before it became a book, I had it on a PDF, yeah?
Yeah.
I sent the PDF to XR Hereford, Bob Shepherd, Phil Campion. I sent it to Bear Grylls, Dave Hayhoe. I sent that book on PDF to all those people and said to them, please let me know what you think and be brutally honest. And they all wrote me a review. I put the review on the book and the back cover has all their reviews on it. So that's how I did it. And then I sent them all a hard copy to say thanks. I didn't think of doing what today's fucking idiots do. I'm going to send mine to the Times because I'm going to get a journalist to look at it. Why? Well, you're a fucking soldier. Send it to a fucking soldier that you respect to look at it. Why are you sending it to a shitty journalist to give their perspective on it? I see these wankers that go, I'm a top... Fuck off. Well, why are you getting journalists to check your book for? You sad fucker.
They're not the ones who are going to buy it.
Send it to people that are better than you as soldiering and see what they say. And if they think it's wank, don't fucking publish it. I mean, so that's just how I think. I mean, I've seen all these here, and my shelf is filled with military books from very, very good authors, military men. They would send me a copy of their book. I'd read it, sometimes do a review, and they're all good. I mean, all the books are about combat and stuff, and there's so he's better than me, he's better than him. They all add value. You know what I mean? They're all good. When it comes to writing, I think I'm probably the worst author on my shelf. If I'm honest, I think they're all better writers than me. I'm a shit writer. My English isn't great, but and I spell like a fucking leper. But these guys are all better authors than me, and I learn from them. And then I do another book, and I learn from that. I mean, I find that writing's a bit of a... Don't know why I keep looking over there. I find that writing's a bit of a... It's a therapy for me. Gets rid of all the...
How many books have you written then?
I'm about to do my fourth.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you not going to be writing fiction novels? You're not going to go that route, are you?
My fucking whole life's been a fiction, if I'm honest. So I'm just I'm surviving. I mean, I don't think I'm clever enough to make up a story. I really don't. My life's been so much of a fucking joke and a fiction already that yeah, I haven't got.
Just do your whole life story. Just name it to somebody else. Go, there you go, like a fiction.
Well, I know. Yeah, I suppose I could. I mean, I suppose I could. I don't think I'm clever enough to do that. I think I've got one last book in me, which I've been putting together the last so many months. But and once that's done, I've run out of things to say. I mean, fuck's sake. I mean,
and plus you've got your YouTube. You can, whatever else pops in your head, you've got that.
Exactly.
I mean,
I could talk
leading on to that.
Yeah.
How did you? I mean, I've found you on YouTube.
Yeah.
I've spotted you on there, and I was like, fucking hell, this bloke's mental. He's fucking great.
Oh, thanks. What you thought it was mental?
Yeah, you fucking are. What got you into that? Why go into YouTube? Why did you start there?
I wanted to find the easiest thing in the world without doing very little apart from breathe that could make money. So basically, I was on Facebook at the time, and this is how I started with YouTube. I was on Facebook, and on Facebook, as an individual on a Facebook page, you can only have 5,000 friends. So I had 5,000 friends. I didn't know any of them, but I had 5,000 friends. But I also had like 150 in the fucking green room waiting to be friends. It was just a weird situation on Facebook. And every week I would delete people that I didn't know, and add people that I didn't know. And I had this friend thing, and it's just weird. And I was uploading videos on there, and I was doing loads of stuff in the media. and I'd upload a video and it would get like 50,000 views. I'm like, fucking hell, it's not bad. 10,000 views. I then started off a Facebook page called First Into Singing. And that page had, at the time, it's still there, I think. I don't use it. I haven't been on Facebook in about 5 years. But that page had about 46,000 followers on it. And it was good. And then I was starting to get loads of messages from people. Can you point me in the right direction for this? Point me in the right direction. Veterans. I need this. I need a roof. I need a pair of shoes. I need socks. I need this. I need that. I need this. Fuck me. I used to think, fucking get up off your ass and just fucking go and do something. Fuck's sake, do you have to fucking lead people by the fucking hand to get help? It used to wind me up. So then what I did was I got in touch with people known Safa, and I said, listen, and another charity, which you won't mention here. And I said, do you want to be the admin on this page? It's got 47,000 people. If I make use admin on this page, yous are actually volunteers that help people. Yeah. And then delete me off it. Are you sure? Yeah, just delete, because I shouldn't be seeing veterans' private messages to you. So you are already charity welfare people. So I'll delete myself off the page. You take me out as an admin. That page now becomes your page, loads of people on it, and you can post things on it. You have a bigger audience. And they loved it. So the page became theirs. I deleted. And I walked away from Facebook. And I was still doing loads of different interviews. And was it CNN? It might have been CNN. I got asked to do an interview. So Joe Biden pulled out of Afghanistan. It's about 3 years ago. This is how long my YouTube's been going. So I only really got the YouTube going when America pulled out of Afghanistan. Now I've had YouTube since 2011. Didn't even know I had YouTube, but didn't start using it until Joe Biden pulled out of Afghanistan. And what happened was I got on and I was on the news. There was some Washington reporter. So you had the studio asking questions. You had a US Marine major, me in the middle, my white shirt and blue jacket, looked quite nice, and this Washington reporter in the end. And the woman was saying about, I was speaking to the Washington reporter, and she was arguing about it, and then the Marine was arguing, and I was just sitting in the middle. I was in the middle. I was like, I just started smiling. I was like, okay, we're now going to go to Trevor Coullt, the decorated army officer, they call me. And I'm like, all right, sounds great. I was never an officer. Trevor, decorated army officer. So Trevor, tell us, from your perspective as a British soldier, how does it make you feel about the way America have pulled out of Afghanistan? And I went, I'm sorry. I'm just laughing because, you know what's so funny sitting here? Listening to two Americans arguing about an American fuck up, it's just so great to sit back and watch this actually unfold. And they were like, really? So what did you feel? I said, you know what? To turn your back on your allies is probably one of the most disgusting things that you can do. But you know what? In fact, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I think Joe Biden's a fucking retard. And I said that live on the news. And the woman was like, we're really, really sorry. This is live, and we're really sorry what you said there. And the major was like, just slagged off our president. And I said, I don't care. I said, this is on you. This is on you. The deaths of those Marines are on you. And that was it. And I got the clip, because I used to ask for the clips of what I put the clip on my YouTube channel. Within 2 days, I had 500,000 hits.
Fucking hell.
I was like, what? 500,000, 512,000 hits. So I put that one video on, 500,000 hits. I gained the 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 subscribers. I hit like fucking 22,000 watch hours, and I got monetized in one video. And that video made me about 400 quid. And I went, wow, maybe YouTube's the way to go. And that was my YouTube journey started.
And what do you feel about it? I mean, you obviously enjoy doing it, and like you spoke about before we started, it's a bit of your routine now as well.
It is routine. I mean, I will point out that that video got me monetized, but it also brought in a lot of hate. And
I was going to lead on to that.
the minute people see you thrashing it out and you're gaining 5,000, 10,000, you've 20,000 followers, you've 50,000 followers, you've 100,000 subscribers, you've 150,000 subscribers, then all the scumbags come out as well. Look at him, look at him, look at him, look at him, look, scumbag, look at him. Oh, he didn't earn that medal. Oh, he's a thief. Oh, he's done this, he's done. And the attacks come in. They come in. That's why I preempted this. I deleted Twitter. I deleted Facebook. I stayed away from the platforms. And I do my Instagram, which is pretty mellow. That's quite relaxed. And the attacks come in on YouTube. So what you have to do then is you have to then prepare yourself for attacks or people reporting you or mass reporting you. As long as you put a disclaimer in. Every video I put up has a disclaimer in it where I'm telling people this is my opinions based on my knowledge and experience. Go and do your own research, and that's in every video. You can report my videos if you want. Nothing will ever happen to them. I've covered my ass. I've spent 2 years demonetized. I've covered all my ass at every angle. I'm 360 aware. My videos are all out there, and everything is allegedly. It's my opinion and without prejudice, allegedly. That you covered in all your videos. Just don't ever accuse someone of being something. Just say, it's my opinion, it's alleged, and people can report you all day. As long as you cover your asses, it's all right. But I also know pro words and things that I can use and can't use because I spent 2 years learning on YouTube trying to get things fixed. I've now got a good YouTube guy in my corner that works hard and he knows all the little angles. And don't get me wrong, everything's done above board. Everything is on the line. So you've got to learn and you surround yourself. The more people in your circle, the more chance things are going to go tits up. So I would have such and such in, I'd see how they worked. Don't trust them, push them back out, bring such in, like that. I like Ryan. Yeah, Ryan's good. Ryan, I've got your back, you've got mine. And you sort of, I went from, I support probably about 30 YouTube channels. I promote about 30 YouTube channels. I do not need them to promote me. I'm in a position now, I'm going to say it, I'm in a position of power where I do not need help because when I was on the way up, I didn't get help, so I learned to survive on my own. I learned what to use, what to use. I used all the news channels, everything. I think I've done 17 interviews on GB News. I've got 17 clips, which keep bringing in new subscribers. I've got subscribers, I think, from about 45 different countries on my YouTube channel. US, Australia, Canada, Germany. I've even got one or two in Moldova. I mean, I've got all these different, and it's fantastic. And I've built a community now where I may have a community where I get on with everyone, but I've only got about 6 people in my circle, which is perfect. And we bounce off each other. And the bigger your circle, the bigger your problems. The smaller your circle, the smaller your problems.
I mean, you mentioned there about your community. I mean, you know, I'm a subscriber, you know, fanboy and all that shit. And I've watched your lives, and I've watched the people in the comment section, and I'll say it as it is. There's some genuine love there for you. You know, I was quite taken aback with that. You know, like we've talked about before, there were people coming in and gifting memberships and stuff like that. You know, you've obviously hit a nerve with people. You know, some people might see it as decisive or or you know, you're being antagonistic and stuff like that. But no, I don't. There's nothing malicious in anything you say. I don't think. No, I've never seen anything malicious in anything you said.
Yeah, I don't need that stuff. I just say what it is. But I do get the odd fucking retard in the comments. Don't get me wrong. But you get one that comes in, but it's very rare. It's very rare. I mean, I am very outspoken, but you know, but I'm also compassionate when I need to be. I mean, I understand that not everyone's doing well. I understand that some people need help, and I understand that you've got to. There's a time and a place to say certain things. You know, you don't want to. I usually I see what people send me. I get dozens of emails every day, and I see what's annoying people. And if it's a big thing, it keeps coming in, it keeps annoying people, then I'll highlight it so that they can see that I do actually care what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of shit coming in all the time about, Trevor, have you watched this channel? Go and watch this channel. They say that Meghan Markle has got this. Now, even though I don't like Meghan Markle, some of the shit people say about her is wrong. And I know it's wrong. And I'm like, I'm not going to highlight that shit. I mean, listen, I despise Prince Harry, but I'm not going to go and put out false information just to make people feel good about him. I mean, sorry, just to make people feel good about themselves. At the end of the day, if people are saying things about certain individuals, even if I'm not a fan of them, I'm not going to highlight it because it's bullshit. I mean, I always say I talk on this channel, no bullshittery. So don't go back on your own words. Don't try and trend with bullshit. I mean, you have to be honest.
Don't pander to people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If I'm on there chatting about things and holding people accountable, I mean, someone needs to hold me accountable, and that needs to be me. I mean, I'm not going to pander. I'm not going to take a knee. But I've got to be true to myself. I still hold with me the solid C, the selfless commitment, offensive spirit, loyalty, integrity, diligence, and moral courage and physical courage, the solid C. You know what I mean? I keep those in my mind.
Oh, you got them written on the wall in front of you or something?
No, it's just shit in my head. There's shit in my head.
Right, so that leads me on to what's in the future for you. I've seen what you were talking about, what you'd like to do either the end of this year or next year.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be fucking great. So do you want to put that out there to people?
Right. I am currently I'm going to be working with Matthew Marsden, who's a great actor. He started off in Coronation Street, and he's did Black Hawk Down, and he's done Transformers and Rambo. He's great, and I'm going to be doing things for him. But what I want to do, I've been putting together money to go. I want to go to fly into Kabul, from London to Kabul, and then from Kabul helicopter down into Sangin. And I want to be able to talk through all the battles that we took part in Sangin. I want to do a documentary on Sangin. No one's ever been there since then. And I want to talk about things. I want to walk the ground, walk the patrols where we had the battles. I want to be able to go through that and do a proper documentary in Sangin to go along with First Into Sangin. I think that will lead on to other things. So it's what I want planned. And it's not something way in the future. It's something that I want to start to put together this year, probably the back end of summer, and then finish it through Christmas and next year. So, yeah. And as I do there, I'm going to be sitting there. I'm going to take my book with me that I haven't fucking read yet.
Did it translate it into Pashto yet?
No, but it'd be good, wouldn't it? No, they'd hit me. They'd hit me out there. But I also know that
I mean, that's another question then. So, within this, would you want to speak to Taliban?
Oh, yeah.
Get their side of it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd love to have an interpreter with me and go with one of the people that were down in Sangin and just do it. Obviously, I'd need security, I need interpreter, I need a cameraman, and I'd need a sound engineer, and just there'd be a team of us doing it.
That'd be awesome. I think that'd be really, really insightful.
It's achievable. Yeah.
It'll be a little bit scary as well.
I don't think it would be. I really don't. I mean...
Or is that just my soft-ass Western approach to Afghanistan?
I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I think inside a broken head, it's not dangerous. That sounded weird.
No, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So
yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I've seen lots of guys on YouTube, they fucking globe-trotting teenagers who flit from country to country and all that, and like Balder Bankrupt. I don't know if you've ever seen his channel.
That one, yeah.
He's a travel guy. He goes around all over the place. He used to do a lot of Soviet until he got banned from Russia. But he went, the same ones where he went out to Afghan, and I wouldn't say that people seem lovely, but they just seem They just seem normal. You know, guys who've got entwined with the Taliban, and again, it's their take on the video. They're only going to put out what their content that they want to show.
Yeah.
But you get the feeling that maybe it's not as bad as people make on. I don't think I'd like to fucking try it myself.
Yeah.
But it's not. So you're going over there to do this, but you're not going over there to put demons to bed.
It'll do everything, I think.
But that's not the thing. Like for me, one of the places that I want to go back, and I really don't want to go back, is Bosnia. I want to go back to Bosnia and have a look at the place now. And fucking hell, from the videos I've seen of the place, nothing much has changed anyway. But I'm also a bit wary of that. Never meet your heroes, never meet your demons type of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think it'd be difficult to put demons to bed forever, if I'm honest, but the writing helped deal with a lot of that. It's just something I've always wanted to do, to go and walk through those corridors again.
Yeah.
Just to reminisce, just get it all, just put this chapter to bed once and for all, and then move on.
Move on to something new. Well, Trevor, it's been bloody hell. 2 hours 45 minutes.
Really? Oh wow!
Didn't realise it was that long. We enjoyed it. Again, thanks for coming on and sharing your story. And I'll be putting links in the show notes to your YouTube channel and your books. So if anyone's who's got this far and listened to it, please go off and subscribe to Trev's channel, and also get over to Amazon and buy his books.
Well, thank you.
I will be purchasing First at the Sangin, and I will read it, and I might read it to you. So that's another thing. Audio book. Get an audio book out.
I'd love to do an audio book. I really want to do one. It's just financially, it costs a lot of money to get one out.
I cheated. I had Andy Williams on Paralad.
Yeah.
And I says, yeah, I've read your book. I hadn't. Week before, I'd listened to it in audio. So I was like, yeah, your book was lovely. It was great. I didn't fucking read it. I listened to it. He's
a decent guy. He's
a good guy. Yeah, I really enjoyed chatting with him. Anyway, I'll let you get off because it's fucking late. It's midnight, and we've been on forever. And I don't want to take up any more of your time. But again, thank you for coming on. It's been amazing meeting you. You know, long time fan and all that shit.
Yeah, sure. I'll have to give your channel a bit of a boost.
Right, thanks for that. I'll just stop the recording now. I hope you enjoyed that podcast. I enjoyed recording it. If you could just hit the like button, and also if you could subscribe and hit the notification bell, that'd be great, because it'll help the channel grow. The more people will see it, the bigger it'll get, and the more guests I can get on, and the more people I can talk to. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, like I said. Look forward to the next one. Hopefully we'll be out next week as normal. Bye-bye now.